in Sulphur back in 2006, winning that one 13-10. Since then, Acadiana's, they propelled themselves to another 5 state titles since then. Sulphur's kind of taken it down towards the worst, and they haven't been able to beat Acadiana the last 5 outings. Last year, Acadiana beat them pretty solidly without their starting quarterback, who was hurt. Acadiana beat them over there at Sulphur 35-7. So, this is a program that's trying to regain its authority. Sulphur, 10, 20 years ago was a powerhouse in 5A. Since then, they've been scuffling along. On paper, Acadiana looks to be, a 3 or 4 touchdown favorite, Nick?
Yeah, I'd say that'll be the case in every game the rest of the way. I don't see an opponent with maybe the exception of Karen Crow, even though Karen Crow's fallen on some tough times this year as well. But aside from that, I think Acadiana should be, if you were setting a line on the game, 3 or 4 touchdown favorite. And this game is no different. And like you said about Sulphur, they have fallen on difficult times. They're not exactly the power they used to be maybe 20 years ago, but they're always going to give you a tough game, and they're always going to be very well coached. The last 3 or 4 years, the Lake Charles, Calcasieu area really got battered with those multiple hurricanes, and a lot of the schools down there, Barb and Sam Houston. When I was in high school in the late 90s, Sulphur was always one of the most important games of the year, one of the top opponents, one of the opponents that Acadiana struggled to beat with those teams in the 90s, and Sulphur's just not quite at that point. So as long as you don't overlook them and do what you got to do and take care of your business, it should be a victory for the Wreckin Rams tonight.
Yeah, actually, Nick, the last time Sulphur beat Acadiana was back in 2017. So, like I said, it's been quite a few years since the Sulphur Tornadoes have come in here and beat the Wreckin Rams. But let's go ahead and we'll start tonight's pregame show with your Acadiana Wreckin Rams starting lineups.
Yeah, we'll do the starting lineups early today. The starting lineup for the Veer Machine offense: senior number 4, Caden DeBetta, will be at quarterback. The wide receiver is senior number 8, Russell Babineau, who was the quarterback against Sulphur last year in the Wreckin Rams win against the Tours. Sophomore Colin DeBetta will also be at wide receiver, and then senior number 17, Carver Swallow. Running backs will be starters number 9, Tayden Collins, number 22, Parker Bruno, and we're looking down on the sidelines and we see number 23, Jonah Goche, in street clothes again, so that tells us that he will not be playing tonight. So we'll be seeing a heavy dose of Logan Charles probably in the backfield, and maybe some of those young kids that we saw last week will probably get some carries with Jonah out again, but I think it's only precautionary for Jonah. I think he could probably go, but being that the opponents that they're playing are not real tough, I think Coach Matt McCullough is holding them out because he thinks they can get the win. Nonetheless, the starters will be Tayden Collins, Parker Bruno, and Logan Charles. Senior number 83, Jaden Bassard, will start at tight end. On the offensive line, senior number 71, Robert Welch. At guard, senior number 52, Brody Estes, and senior number 51, Braxton Scriber. And the offensive tackle, senior number 7, Kavini Wilson, and senior number 99, Jaden Lawrence. The Terrible Turk defense, their starters on the defensive line: first at defensive end, junior number 87, Darius McKinley, and senior number 11, Amarian Cooper. At tackle, senior number 54, Valen Charles, and senior number 88, Jaden Carmoose. The linebackers: senior number 0, Pop Francis, senior number 3, Keldrick Francis, and junior number 5, Gavin Coleman. In the secondary, cornerbacks: senior number 1, Dalen Lewis, and number 24, senior Braylon Noel. And the safeties: senior number 7, Keeman Thibodeau, and junior number 15, JL Malbrew, and junior number 12, Keon Lede.
All righty, Nick. Let's go ahead and we'll roll into some facts and figures for your Wreckin Rams, both offensively and defensively. First, we're going to start by saying your Wreckin Rams, of course, are 3-1 on the year, 1-0 in District 3 5A. They are currently ranked number 3 in the 5A rankings. They're led by head coach in his 7th year, Matt McCullough. Last week, Acadiana had that big 62-0 win against New Iberia. Your Veer Machine offense averaging 38 points per game through the first 4 games of the season. Again, they're led by quarterback number 4, senior Caden DeBetta. On the season, he has 337 yards passing and 5 touchdowns, and last week he also had a rushing touchdown. We mentioned Jonah Goche, the pit bull. He is a no-go tonight. He will not dress out. But on the season, I still like to say this because this is impressive for not playing last week. The young man has 566 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns, and that was only through 3 games, folks. But starting tonight will be senior running back number 9, Tayden Collins. Last week he had 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the side of him is going to be number 22, senior Parker Bruno. Parker had himself a game last week with a 30-yard touchdown catch on the first play of the game, and he finished the night off with 51 yards rushing and a touchdown. Out wide is senior Russell Babineau, the Raging Cajun commitment last week. He had 29 yards rushing and a touchdown. And I always like to show the big men some love. 52 senior Brody Estes, 51 senior Braxton Scriber, 71 senior Robert Welch, 70 senior Kavini Wilson, number 99 senior Jaden Lawrence, and the big tight end, number 83 senior Jaden Bassard. Your Terrible Turk defense, they're allowing 15.75 points per game, and keeping this in mind, folks, they have not allowed an offensive touchdown the last 2 weeks. Tackle leaders on your Terrible Turk defense, they're going to be led by number 87, the young man, the junior defensive end, Darius McKinley. He leads the team with 26 tackles. Right behind him is number 5, junior Gavin Coleman, who has 22. Number 7, senior Keeman Thibodeau has 22 as well. Number 11, senior Amarian Cooper with 18. And number 54, senior Valen Charles with 18 as well. Your sack leaders, number 87 again, Darius McKinley leads the team with 5. Behind him is number 11, Amarian Cooper with 1, and senior Keldrick Francis with 1. Your interception leader, your ball hawk, the guy that always seems to be around the football, number 1, senior Dalen Lewis. He has 3 interceptions on the year. And right behind him is number 7, senior Keeman Thibodeau with 1. And forced fumbles on the year is Keeman Thibodeau, who has 1. Looking ahead next week, Acadiana will be at Barb next Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, those stats are impressive. And I think the most impressive one to me that stood out from what you were saying is the defense, not allowing an offensive touchdown in 2 weeks. I mean, you kind of lose sight of the fact that they haven't done that, right? Because you had the scoop and score against STM that kind of put them on the board, and that STM was so close. STM game was so close. They never could put them away. It was within 1 score until that final drive of the game where Acadiana pulled away, but they didn't give up a touchdown. And then, of course, last week, the slaughter of New Iberia, that was barely a game at all. So, I mean, 2 straight weeks with no offensive touchdowns, that's very impressive. And as much as we talk about the offense, the firepower of the offense, the senior-led quarterback, the seniors at running back, I think the defense was kind of the biggest question mark. Now, I'm not going to say that we doubted them at all because we knew they had talent. We knew they were going to be great. But how great were they going to be? That was the question mark. Were they going to be an elite defensive unit? Were they going to complement what the offense could do and really be a factor in a potential state championship season? And I think through the first 4 weeks of the season, they really have. Even in the loss against Ruston, they didn't give up a whole lot. They struggled with the big, tall, mobile quarterback, Josh Brantley, that's going to Tulane. But other than that, they didn't really give up much in the middle. And then they kind of righted the ship against Zachary, and thus far against STM and New Iberia, it's been really impressive. So I'm most impressed with the defense so far in this young season and how they've really elevated their game and kind of matched what we knew the offense was going to be.
Well, we talked about it earlier on paper against your district opponents, and this is not a knock about anybody in the district. It's more of a prop to what Acadiana has this year. Keep in mind, folks, they have 16 to 17 returning starters. I mean, that is impressive in 5A football. But as we said, I mean, on paper, realistically, Acadiana should come out and beat any district opponent in front of them by 2 or 3 touchdowns, and this is no different. So in my mind, my key to the game is come out the gate hot, be prepared. Just don't start sluggish. Don't play down to your opponent. Just handle your business like you did last week against New Iberia, and everything will take care of itself. But let's go ahead and we'll talk quickly about the Sulphur Golden Tornadoes. They are 2-2 on the season, 0-1 in district play. They're led by head coach Cody Guringer in his 2nd year. Their wins this year have been against St. Louis Catholic and Northside, but their losses have been against Vanderbilt Catholic and Sam Houston. Offensively, they're only averaging 15.25 points per game. They're going to be led at quarterback by senior Brody DePriest. Last week passing, he had 58 yards and a touchdown against Sam Houston. He also rushed for 41 yards. Folks, keep in mind, though, their backup quarterback, let me see right here, looking at my notes, number 18, excuse me real quick, Noah Courtney. He's a freshman quarterback for the Tornadoes. He actually got a significant amount of playing time last week. I want to say he had about 50 passing yards. Keep his name in your minds because there's a chance that we could also be calling his name tonight. But the running back position for the Tornadoes is going to be led by Tyler Joubert. Last week he had 24 yards rushing. And on the side of him, or behind him I should say, is Luke Clark, who had 11 yards rushing. In the air, they're going to go to Jordan Jardino. Last week catching, he had 27 yards and a touchdown. And across from him, wide receiver Cole Trahan, 49 yards last week through the air. I'm going to let you talk about this young man. Their big tight end, J.D. LaFleur. Last week he had 16 yards receiving, which doesn't seem like much, but let me tell you, folks, this is one of the most impressive tight ends in the entire state.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to LSU. He has the pedigree of a D1 tight end. His dad, David LaFleur, of course, played at LSU in the early 2000s, and of course his son is following his path to LSU. So a D1 tight end that you're going to get to see tonight, either here at the game at Bill Dotson or watching on YouTube. And it's not every game that we get to see some D1 talent. One thing about J.D. LaFleur that we could talk about last season, he was impressive. If I recall correctly, he had about 3 big catches for 40 yards. Had a couple of them where he had beat the defense, but the quarterback couldn't quite get him the ball. So you got to think, if they've cleaned some of those things up, if there's one more year of that new quarterback kind of getting his system right, and J.D. LaFleur gave Acadiana problems last year, the quarterback just couldn't quite hook up with him. If they hook up with a couple of big plays, LaFleur could be a problem tonight. And
if I recall correctly, Nick, in that 35-3 win last year at Sulphur, LaFleur had the touchdown catch for the 7 points.
That's right.
Like you said, he is a mismatch problem, and I'm curious to see how this defensive staff prepares for him. Defensively for the Tornadoes, they're allowing 24 points per game. Here's how they're going to be up front. Their starting lineup, defensive ends is going to be Jamichael Stelly and Tajai Smith. Defensive tackle is going to be Drake Mays. Their linebackers are going to consist of Wesley Bushnell, Cardell Morgan, and Davin Lee Stevens. And their defensive backs are going to be Trip Shaw, Isis LeBaron, Tracy Washington, Mason DePriest, and Jasper Grimball. So that is the defensive starting lineups for the Sulphur Tornadoes. We are about 6 minutes away from kickoff, folks. Again, it is homecoming here at Bill Dotson Stadium. A nice little crowd tonight. The weather has held off. I was a little worried with the afternoon weather that we were going to catch some rain. We still might, but as of now, it is a nice night for football. The stands are packed. The ladies down there on the field look great, and like Nick said, those are some big expensive hats, my friend.
Yeah, there's only 2 things I want to talk about pregame wise. First of all, the hats, right? The homecoming hats are fantastic, and we know that they're very expensive. The parents go all over town. Some of them look online, paying hundreds of dollars for these hats, and then you look down there at all those young ladies wearing those hats, and it's all worth it. So the parents that pay for those hats. And the second thing we want to talk about, how about that pastelaya we had pregame? That was fire. That was the best pastelaya I ever had.
I got to tell Mr. Donnie and the real OGs tailgating crew, thank you for that pastelaya. It was fantastic, and I told him I'd give him a shout out because that's how good it was. And listen, this is something Acadiana's been doing for years now. The tailgating scene before the game is fantastic. But let's go down to the field, Nick, and we're almost ready for the coin toss. Your captains for tonight's game going to be linebacker number 3, Keldrick Francis. Looks like number 2, Logan Charles. Number 24, Braylon Noel. And number 50, Owen Carpenter. That is your captains for tonight's game against the Sulphur Tornadoes.
Talking to Coach McCullough last week, with holding Jonah out last week against New Iberia, holding him out again this week. One of the things that he said was that, we have a lot of running backs, and we saw two of the young kids, Sean Simon, and who was the other one, number 25, I believe his name was, Troy Kennerson. We saw him last week. So a lot of these running backs are going to get a chance, and I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Logan Charles, and that may be why he's going out there to be the captain today.
Just got a note from our production team. We actually have a microphone on the ref tonight, so we'll go ahead and let him handle it from here. Looks like Sulphur has won the toss and elected to defer their option to the second half. Acadiana's going to go ahead and receive this kick. So the Wreckin' Rams and the Veer Machine will have the ball to start this game. And I think that's the way Matt McCullough likes it. We know he likes to be aggressive, and you want to get your legs churning early in this ball game. As I said, Nick, just to me, come out, guns blazing. Don't come out sluggish. Handle your business in district, and the rest will take care of itself.
Well, I like deferring. I'm a big fan of deferring. And I think last year, in the state championship game against Catholic, Acadiana won the toss and they elected to defer. And normally, I say that's a good deal. But I think in that game, if we would have accepted the ball and kind of set the tone for that game, given it one of those Acadiana long drives where you kind of wear them down, I think they had a better chance. Instead, they gave Catholic the ball, and Catholic was able to set the tone. So, although I do like deferring most times, sometimes it's okay to take the ball, and I think we're going to see Acadiana kind of set the tone right now by getting the ball first.
We're going to go down to the field for the pregame invocation.
We pray that the players will compete to the best of their abilities, and we ask you to protect them against all injuries. We thank you from the support from our parents, family, friends, faculty, cheerleaders, dance, band, and community. Their belief in us helps us to unite as a team. We also pray for those who are fighting for our country and for those who have given their lives for our freedom, and that you may comfort those who are affected by this. We thank you for everything you have done and all the things you are to come. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
And now is your national anthem brought to you by the Pride of Acadiana Wreckin Ram Marching Band.
Anthem performed by the Pride of Acadiana High School.
We're close, folks. Week 5 in 5A high school football. Again, your Wreckin Rams taking on the Golden Tornadoes of Sulphur. Want to reintroduce our broadcast team. Your play-by-play guy, Cole Gilbo, on the side of me, my friend and color commentator, Nick Fodno, and a production team, the Wreckin Ram production broadcast team, led by our audio supervisor, Mr. Denny Edwards. So appreciate them. We hope you enjoy this broadcast. This is basically week 2 of this new and improved broadcast. Again, we also want to welcome in any viewers from Sulphur watching tonight. We see your comments down here. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to the new Wreckin Ram production broadcast here on YouTube. Well, down on the field, Sulphur's teeing it up. Acadiana back deep. It looks like Russell Babineau and Colin DeBetta, the two playmakers back deep. And, we talk about it every week, Nick. This special teams is special, and I hope they get a chance to do something early.
They haven't got a chance yet. Nobody's really tested them with a kick to either DeBetta or Babineau, but as soon as somebody does, I think we might see some explosiveness back there in the special teams with Babineau and DeBetta.
Kicking tonight is going to be Paxton Van Mitri, the senior kicker. It's going to be a sky kick at about the 15. It's taken in by Colin DeBetta. He's going to cut it across the field. Looking across, he's across the 35, across the 40, and brought down at the 45. So a great job by the sophomore wide receiver on a good return, and your Veer machine's going to have it 1st and 10 at the 45.
And that was effortless. Once he got the ball, he was already 10 yards up the field before he ever found a defender, and once he got hit for the first time, kind of busted through and gained an extra 10 yards. So that's the kind of explosive you have in the special teams with those two guys, and more importantly on offense on the outsides. Those are the weapons that Caden DeBetta has to throw to, is obviously Russell Babineau, who's going to UL, and his younger brother who he's probably thrown the football with his entire life. So it's definitely a luxury to have on the Wreckin Rams offensive side.
2 wide receivers to the far side. Takes the toss, looking deep, throws it downfield in the first play of the game. It's underthrown, but it's caught. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, and he's going to be pushed out about the 7-yard line. Russell Babineau on the first play of the game with a big completion, and your Wreckin Rams have it 1st and goal.
Amazing job by Babineau to kind of adjust on the fly, because that ball was underthrown. And I looked at it in the air, and I thought Caden kind of lofted it a little bit, maybe a little bit too much air on it, and Babineau had more than beat the throw, but he makes the adjustment, comes back to get it, and then on the tackle, the guy, the Sulphur defender, gets him to try to tackle him, and Babineau just drags him an extra 10 yards. Great job for the Rams on that first play from scrimmage.
Collins and Bruno in the backfield, one receiver to each side of the formation. Handoff goes to Collins, trying for the outside. Can he get to the pylon? He's in. Tayden Collins, big TC. first touchdown of the night, and your Wreckin' Rams lead it early, 6-0.
Bang, bang, just like that, 2 plays, and you're already in the end zone. But you know what? It started with that return. The return from Colin DeBetta, getting it all the way across to the 40-yard line, allowed them to kind of open it up on that first play and take a shot. Wonderful play by Babineau, and then Collins kind of seeing the vision to go outside and not bust it up the middle like he wanted to, but he takes it outside and finds the edge for 6.
Todd Lambertina to hold. Eddie Hernandez to kick. Kick is up. Kick is good.
Kick is up and
11:20 left to go in the first quarter, and it's early, folks, but your Wreckin' Rams hold a 7-0 lead. And man, we've talked about it. You come out here, you come out firing, and the rest will take care of itself. I mean, how much more do you want? Your kick return brings you to the 45, and then 2 plays later, you're in the end zone. I mean, that's spectacular.
You got a great play from special teams. You got a great play from your pass game, and then you got a great run to cap it off. Bang, 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 and you're in the end zone. And look, we can talk about these opponents in the district and how maybe Acadiana is a little bit, a higher level of talent and quality of team than these opponents, but you still have to go out there and execute. The team on the other side, Sulphur, they're trying to win this game. They're trying to execute their game plan, and you still have to go out there and be sound. And I think that's what we saw last week against New Iberia, and so far in the first 40 seconds of this game, we've seen Acadiana do exactly what they need to do against a team like Sulphur and kind of get up ahead really quick. So nice job to set that tone and be up early. You haven't even played a minute of this football game, and you already got a touchdown on the board.
Eddie Hernandez back to kick for the Wreckin' Rams. Never seen this before, Nick. Sulphur has 3 returners deep. I've seen 2. I don't think I've ever seen 3.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Hernandez kick, high and deep, and not returnable. So the Tornadoes will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for their first possession of the game. And let's see what the Tornadoes do here offensively. As you mentioned, listen, Acadiana's going to get every team's best shot in the district. We've been playing Sulphur a very long time. We mentioned in the pregame they're not the quality that they were 10 or 20 years ago due to some hurricanes and natural disasters that kind of set that program back. But make no mistake about it, this is an old rivalry, and that's a team that is alpha blood against the Wreckin' Rams.
Well, Cole, that's a great point that you brought up, is that no matter what, every team is giving Acadiana their best shot. And so no matter what they have, no matter what Sulphur has on the other side of that sideline, we're going to see it tonight because they're going to leave it all on the field.
The freshman quarterback, number 18, Noah Courtney, with the start tonight. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Snap, 3-step drop, swings it. It's picked off. Picked off by Keldrick Francis to the 5, touchdown Rams. Keldrick Francis on the first defensive play of the night for the Terrible Turks, and just like that, Acadiana leads it 13-0.
That's what you do against a freshman quarterback. The freshman quarterback never moved off of his receiver, and Noel was right there for the play. Fantastic job by the defense to kind of set their own tone for this game. And Cole, we still have not played a minute of gameplay. Acadiana already has 2 touchdowns on the board. Incredible start for the Wreckin' Rams.
Keldrick Francis. That's a name we don't get to call too much, but I'll tell you what, he has been all over the place this year, folks. So great job by that young man to come up with the interception on the first play of the game. Tyler Martina to hold, Eddie Hernandez to kick. Snap good, kick up, kick is good. Like Nick said, we're not even a minute into this ball game, folks. 11-10 in the first quarter. Your Wreckin' Rams lead 14-0, and spectacular starts. Just keep going, Nick.
Yeah, you want to talk about setting a tone. You want to talk about taking care of business. You want to talk about doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, how much better of a start could you have? A great return on special teams to start it off. A great play in the passing game with DeBetta to Babineau. A great run by Collins, and then on the first play from scrimmage for Sulphur, a pick 6. It's about as perfect a start as you can have for Acadiana tonight.
Just got a
running back that took us
and he wanted me to introduce the students that are running the cameras tonight. We definitely want to thank them. As you guys noticed, the camera work has done a 180 since the start of this season. That's because we went from doing it on cell phones to doing it on high-quality cameras. So again, we want to thank the Wreckin' Rams students for manning these cameras, and again, Mr. Denny Edwards for being our loyal producer. But, I mean, Nick, I can't say enough. How fast? We talked about having a fast start. We say it all the time, but 14-0, and you didn't even play a minute? I mean, come on, man.
I mean, what more can you say? I mean, I know it's our job to say things, but, I mean, the Rams are doing the talking on the field. 14-0 and under a minute of gameplay is just an unbelievable start, and it's a credit to these players buying into the program and the coaches getting them ready to play.
Eddie Hernandez to kick. High and deep. And that's out. the back of the end zone. So the Sulphur Tornadoes will have it 1st and 10 at the 20. And I want to go back on that last play by freshman quarterback Noah Courtney. And I don't know if you noticed this, that when the running back went in motion, he basically stared him down the entire time. And I think Keldrick Francis did a really good job of reading those eyes and just jumping in front of the pass and taking it to the house.
I mean, that's what you do against a freshman quarterback. You know he's going to do things like that. He's going to make mistakes, not really have the discipline of a senior like Acadiana has with Caden DeBetta. And so you got to take advantage of those tendencies that a freshman was going to have. And that's exactly what Francis did, kind of jumping that route and taking it to the house.
One receiver to each side, one running back to each side of Courtney, who's in the shotgun. Snap. Handoffs up the middle. There's that terrible Turk D-line with a loss of 3 on the first carry of the game. It's going to be 2nd and 13.
Cole, I do want to mention, you talked about Noah Courtney, that freshman quarterback. We were watching him in the pregame warmups, and you made a comment about his size. Big kid. Even though he's a freshman, he's a nice-looking kid and a good-looking quarterback. And he was making some throws in pregame that were pretty impressive. So don't be surprised if he comes out and starts making some plays here, even though he's a freshman.
Same setup here. One receiver to each side, one running back on each side of Courtney. 2nd and 13. 15 seconds on the play clock. Snap. Handoff. Running backs run into each other, and the terrible Turks do another great job, and it'll be another loss of 3.
Good on the carry.
The Sulphur Tornadoes are looking at a 3rd and 16 on their 2nd drive of the game.
And what these 2 plays do, first of all, it sets the tone on defense and lets Sulphur know they're not going to have much of the middle, but it puts the ball in the freshman quarterback's hand. He's already made a huge mistake. His confidence probably not that high right now. So that's exactly what those 2 plays did. Put it in their hand, make the freshman quarterback make a play, and see what he can do.
2 receivers near side, one on the far side, and a running back on the side of Courtney. Keep an eye out for number 31, Jordan Jorno, in the slot. Handoff up the middle. Going to get a gain of 5 or 6. They'll be faced with a, let's call it 5. It'll be a 4th and 10.
Yeah, you see, I mean, they completely took the ball out of his hand. They didn't even attempt to make the first down. They just got to run it and take what they get and punt the football. That's what
bring up 4th and 10.
If you allow the running back to gain even 2 yards per carry, now you're looking at a 2nd and 6. They probably allow Courtney to try to make a play. Instead, 3rd and 16, they just kind of give up the drive and punt it away to the Wreckin Rams.
Back deep for the Wreckin Rams, the playmaker, the Raging Cajun, Russell Babineau. I'd love to see him get a chance right here.
Deep, number 8, Russell Babineau.
Snap is high. Kick.
Ooh.
Just got it off. It takes a bounce at the 45, and it'll roll out of bounds. A very good tornado bounce right there. Going to get about a 10 or 11-yard bounce, but nonetheless, the Wreckin Rams will start at the 44-yard line, so more solid field position for the beer machine.
I mean, we saw Keeman Thibodeau block one at Ruston, and that ball right there was on his fingertips. I bet Keeman felt the air from the ball on his fingers. That's how close he was to blocking that punt.
We want to thank a couple of people for tuning in. Striker Trawhall, my old classmate and former quarterback of the Wreckin Rams, tuning in from the tugboat, as well as Elizabeth Davidson, who's out of state. So all you Sulphur fans, thank you for tuning in as well. But your Rams have it right here, 1st and 10. One receiver to each side of the formation, split back veer behind DeBetta. Snap, fakes the handoff, rolls near side. He's got all day if he wants to run it. He will run it. Across the 50, across the 40. He's got one man to beat. He picks up the block. Across the 10.
Touchdown, Rams!
No, they're going to say he stepped out at the 5-yard line, Nick.
No, they're going to call him out at the 3-yard line.
They're going to call him out inside the 5, and just like that, Caden DeBetta takes it. 1st and goal, Rams.
Cool, let me tell you what the most impressive thing about that play was. Russell Babineau was wide open and wanted the ball. Caden decided to tuck and run. Russell got frustrated with the play, kind of dropped his hands, and then saw that Caden had nothing but running room, decided to get back into play, made a key block that kind of let Caden get about 10 extra yards. So good job by Russell kind of catching himself, kind of being frustrated in the moment and being like, oh, wait a minute, we got a big gain, and maybe Caden made the right play. So that's the first thing I noticed was that Babineau was kind of frustrated that he didn't get the ball, quickly snapped out of it and made a great block.
Play clock at 0.
Flags on the play.
A very long time, very nonchalant to get on the ball, and That's been a problem
Delay
for
a game
Acadiana this year,
offense,
Nick.
number
Pre-snap
4.
penalties.
5-yard
Even though
penalty.
Acadiana's 3-1,
First
they've
down.
had a solid season so far.
Delay a
We've seen
game
this
against the
every week
Rams
so
will
far.
cost
I
them
mean, the
5.
only thing that's going to keep Acadiana from going where they want to go are penalties and turnovers. If they don't do that, they take care of the football and stay disciplined on the offensive line and the defensive line. I mean, there's nothing that's going to stop them. There's nothing in their way to accomplish what they want. But if they beat themselves, that'll be their one issue and their one biggest obstacle.
First and goal. Handoffs up the middle to Parker Bruno. He's going to keep his feet moving and get a gain of about 4 or 5. They're going to call it 5. Second and goal from the 5-yard line.
I want to briefly go back to that big play from Caden DeBetta where Russell kind of caught his head and made that key block. Like, that's the senior leadership that a lot of teams don't have. But you have a senior quarterback who Russell trusts to make the right decision. And in that moment, he kind of didn't trust it for whatever reason and thought he made the right play. But then he kind of caught his head, and Russell, being a senior himself, got back in there. And that block is the reason why Caden's not down at the 20-yard line. Instead, he's down to 3. That block kind of sprung him for those extra yards. And when you got that senior leadership, man, it's invaluable. You talk about not only the senior leadership of Caden DeBetta and Russell Babineau, but you got seniors all across that offensive line. I mean, when you got this many seniors, 17 seniors that we talk about in the pregame every week, I mean, this is the type of year that you kind of look to. You kind of focus on it. 2 or 3 years ago, you're kind of looking at 2024 and saying, wow, all these seniors are going to be coming together at the right time. This is going to be a special season. And so far, they're proving it.
Second and goal. 2 receivers far side. Handoff is to Tayton Collins. Can he find the pylon? He's in. TC with his second touchdown of the night early in this ball game, and your Wreckin Rams lead it 20-0 with 8:15 in the first quarter.
I think Collins had the end zone if he goes outside. Like, if he keeps it outside, he's still going to score. Instead, he kind of turned it up and scored anyway. He probably had 3 different lanes where he could have scored a touchdown. Collins gets his second touchdown. I mean, it's all Wreckin Rams. I can't see the clock from where I'm standing, but 8:15. I mean, we're not even a quarter into the football game, and they're already up by 3 touchdowns. An unbelievable start for the Wreckin Rams.
Ty Lambertina to hold. Eddie Hernandez to kick. Snap is good. Kick is up. Kick is good. 8:15 left to go in your first quarter. Your Wreckin Rams lead it 21-0. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around for more Wreckin Ram productions on YouTube.
Don't forget split the punt, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to sell till the third quarter. We will draw at the end of the third quarter. We have concessions under the stands. Help support our very own Wrecking Ram marching band.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 51 offense. We'll replay the try.
Snap is good. Kick is up. Kick is good. So, same thing, folks. 8:15 left to go in your first quarter. Acadiana holding a 21-0 lead. Now we'll take our break. Stick around. Wreckin Ram Productions on YouTube.
Our equipment managers, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Gervais, Landon Longflow, Daxton Broussard, Grayson Martin, Rylan Prather, Jude Como. Our athletic trainers, Emma Richard, Kennedy Cawthorn, Michaela Cormier, Riley Denice, Chloe Bim, Kinley Lachele, Alea LeBlanc, and Jada Harmon. Those are our athletic trainers. Kicking Hernandez.
Welcome back to Bill Dotson Stadium, and if you're just tuning in, you've missed a bunch. 21-0, the Wreckin Rams lead the Sulphur Tornadoes with 8:15 left to go in this first quarter. Eddie Hernandez to kick. It's high and it's deep and it's not going to be returnable. I mean, we talk about it every week, Nick. Eddie since last year, I don't know what he's done, but that young man's added about 10 or 15 yards to his kickoff.
Yeah, I'd like to ask him what he did in the offseason. I know I've mentioned that before, but
It's got to be soccer, right?
Yeah,
Soccer.
playing soccer or maybe working. Charlie Hebert, who is Uncle T's brother. He runs like this off-season kicking competition because he was the kicker in high school. I wonder if he maybe went see Uncle T's brother and got some work in with him because he does a good job with kickers all across the country.
2 wide receivers far side, 1 on the near side, and a running back on the side of Courtney. 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. Snap, Handoff up the middle. Nothing doing. Met at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 2nd and 10. And, Nick, this terrible Turk defensive line came to play today.
The middle hasn't been there for anybody. We even talk about in that Ruston game, they took the middle away. Ruston had their success on the outsides and when they rolled Brantley out and in the passing game. But the middle of the line and the middle of the running game for the opposition has not gotten anything done so far in any of these games against Acadiana.
2 wide receivers near side, one on the far side, and a running back on the side of Courtney. 10 seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap, handoff up the middle, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain once again, 3rd and 10 for the Tornadoes. And this is what you want if you're the Wreckin' Rams. Terrible Turks have to keep holding Sulphur to these 3rd and longs.
Yeah, you keeping them behind the sticks and forcing them into those 3 and longs. And one of 2 things is going to happen. Either you're going to do what they did last drive and kind of give up the drive and give the ball right back to Acadiana, or put that ball in Courtney's hands and make that freshman make a play. And then both of those options are in the advantage of Acadiana.
3rd and 10, 2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side, and a running back on the side of Courtney. 7 seconds on the play clock. Snap. Keeps it. Looking for the corner. He's not going to get there. He does get a gain of about 4, but it's going to be 4th and 6. And here comes the punting unit for the Tornadoes.
And he's a load, that number 18, the freshman. That's a big kid, and it kind of took him down on a one-on-one tackle, and no problem. So once again, forcing Sulphur to punt, and man, we're not even halfway through the first quarter. The Wreckin' Rams already have 3 touchdowns on the board. They're about to get the ball back. How much better of a start? Could this be like the fastest start in school history? Obviously we don't have those stats of how quick the team scored 3 touchdowns, but man, this has happened pretty quick.
Colin DeBetta to receive. It's a high snap, but this one's going to be a low punt. Going to bounce at about the 50. And it's brought in.
Got room.
DeBetta across the 45, across the 40, the 30, the 20, and that's where he'd be pushed out. Let's see where they spot him. They're going to mark him at the 16-yard line. So Colin DeBetta with his 2nd great return of the night, and the Wreckin' Rams are already in the red zone.
He ran up on it like a center fielder when you're trying to throw somebody out at home. It just bounced, and it took a perfect bounce right in the air. He picked it up full speed, and you can kind of look up the field and see what he saw. It was all green. He had to make one move. He probably had one more move to make before he could have found the end zone. Nonetheless, the Wreckin' Rams start again in Sulphur territory, again in the red zone. This is just happening so quick.
I expect the Rams to go to the air here, Nick. I just have a good feeling. And look up top, you got a one-on-one with Russell Babineau. Snap. Rolls out far side. He's got to get rid of it. Rolls across the hash marks. Throws it downfield. It's complete. Going to be short of the first down marker. That's his younger brother, Colin DeBetta, for a gain of 9. It's going to be 2nd and 1.
Hey, looking a great job by number 92 for Sulphur, Ashton Freeman, the senior defensive lineman, to kind of get some pressure on Caden and kind of force him into the outside and not really get comfortable in that pocket, because I have a feeling that if Caden is comfortable in that pocket, he's got a lot of time to survey the field and get down there, but nonetheless kind of rush the throw and still made a big gain, but there's a penalty on the field.
17 and 51. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Ineligible men downfield. So that'll negate the play right there. Let's see where the new spot is. But nonetheless, a good job by Caden on the run to connect with his brother. And we've talked about it a lot. He has a lot of success throwing the ball on the run. He has since his sophomore year. So even though the play was negated, a good throw and catch right there.
Super athletic kids. We saw, obviously, we have Caden, the senior quarterback, Colin, of course, on the field. We saw their freshman brother who was down there. Just athletes all over in that DeBetta family, and they're showing why tonight.
1st and 15. 1 wide receiver to each side. Snap, 3-step drop, 1-on-1 downfield. He throws it downfield, and it's going to be a pass interference. I thought for a second, Nick, he was going to reel that in one-handed. Intended for Russell Babineau, but it is going to be a defensive pass interference.
It was a perfect throw. If he doesn't get interfered with, it's a touchdown. Caden put it right where Babineau was going to be, and Babineau was going to haul it in.
Number 5 of the defense. Penalty will be half the distance. Previous spot. Replay, first down.
Cole, this is going to take me getting used to with the referee, Mike. I'm not used to having to worry about what the referee's talking about.
It's a good addition,
yeah,
though.
For sure.
Like being able to throw it down. So keep in mind, folks, high school rules. pass interference or personal fouls, that does not indicate an automatic first down, but this is going to be half the distance, so Acadiana looking at a 1st and 5. Ball is at the 12-yard line.
Go to there again, Cole?
Might roll them out. Let's see. 2 wide receivers to the far side, and they do roll them out. It's a swing pass to, it looks like TC.
You might want to pick that up.
Yeah, what was that on line of scrimmage? So it was a swing pass to TC, just led the running back a little too wide, and it's going to be 2nd and 5.
But I don't mind the play call, right? At this point, you're up 21-0. Everything's going your way. Let's start working on some stuff, right? Let's start working on things that you don't need to do that in this game, but you might need to do it later. You need to get it crisp and get them feeling that game flow. You know, it's a lot different in the game than it is in practice. So I don't mind finding some things. But if it keeps going like this, the starters are not going to play that much tonight. So do some things while they're in there and kind of get them going.
2nd and 5. Handoff. That's Collins keeping his feet moving. They're going to mark him about a yard short of the line to gain, so it'll be looking like 3rd and 1, ball of the 8.
It's amazing that what the scoreboard looks like, 21-0 with 5:30 to go. I mean, imagine you just strolled in, you're like, yeah, I'm going to pop on the game and see what's going on, pop on the YouTube channel, see what Cole and Nick are talking about, and you look at the score and you're like, 21-0, is that real? It sure is. It's happened very quick.
3rd and 1. No doubt 4-down territory here. Handoff to Parker Bruno. Gets slammed at the line of scrimmage.
Parker Bruno straight ahead.
I believe, Nick, the 4 judge did not give him that yard. It looks like it might be 4th and inches.
Well, and look, credit to the Sulphur defense, right? I mean, they've just gotten beaten and battered, and Acadiana's had their way. Everything's gone the Wreckin' Rams' way, and you know at this point, 21-0, Sulphur's got to be feeling pretty down on themselves, and yet they kind of stepped up and have done something here and kind of said, look, if you guys want to get in the end zone, you're going to have to earn it, and like you said, it's probably 4-down territory, so the Wreckin' Rams are going to go for it, and Sulphur's putting up a fight right here.
4th and inches, and I don't expect anything cute. I think Tayden Collins is getting his ball right now. Hard count, nothing doing. DeBetta looks to the sideline, and Matt McCullough will take a timeout. 4:24 left to go in your first quarter. Acadiana 21, Sulphur 0. Stick around for more Wreckin' Ram Productions here on YouTube. Welcome back to Bill Dotson Stadium for homecoming. Rams face a 4th and inches. Snap, handoff, Collins up the middle. There's your first down play, 1st and goal for your Veer machine.
So now what do? Here, your 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. You're up 21-0. You're kind of having your way with it. I mean, what do you call an offense? Are you just trying to get the touchdown and move on, or are you going to try to maybe get cute and do some things?
No, I think anytime you're in the red zone, and at least from what we've seen early in this game, I would continue to run the ball up the middle and kind of push your way in there. Let your offensive linemen work. Let them, establish some dominance in the red zone. 2 receivers far side. Toss play far side. Tayden Collins got to cut it back up. Not able to do so. Good job right there by the Sulphur defense. Tayden's going to lose about 2 yards right there. It'd still be 2nd and goal. Ball's going to be at the 8.
Had some post-play activity with the kids kind of getting chippy down there. So I'm sure the Sulphur kids are frustrated. Nothing's really going their way, and maybe took a cheap shot down there that we didn't see. But the Acadiana offensive line, I couldn't quite get the number of who it was. He wasn't having it on that play. But nonetheless, you're probably just going to run it a couple of times and try to get in the end zone, and Collins just couldn't quite find the alley there.
2nd and goal, ball of the 8. 1 receiver to each side of the formation. Snap. Fakes the handoff, rolls near side, dumps it to Collins, in and out of his hands. It's going to be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like what they're doing. Right? I do like kind of opening up the playbook a little bit, and you're in the red zone, and you're playing against a team that you're winning against. But some of these things you're gonna try to see if you can maybe do them against a team where you're not winning. Maybe when you get in the postseason, kind of pull one of those plays out. If it doesn't work, throw it away. If it does work, let's keep working on it in practice and kind of build on it. So I like being down here where kind of everything's open and you kind of have an opportunity to do whatever you want to try to get in the end zone.
I want to give a shout out real quick to Miss Cheryl Gilmore, who watches our broadcast each and every week, going to Disney in the morning.
If we had a number one fan, it would be her.
2 receivers far side. Snap. It's a reverse. Can he make it to the end zone? Russell Babineau for 6. Another rushing touchdown for the playmaker, the Raging Cajun, Russell Babineau.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, they kind of opened it up, right? They did a couple things that we haven't seen yet. Some screen plays, a toss play, a reverse to Babineau. Like, just kind of opened it up. I like that. I like seeing that because, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but if you're not successful in those plays, you're more than likely going to win this football game anyway. So try some things out. We know what happened last week. The starters are probably about to come out of the game. And so, while they're in there, let's see what we got. Let's see what we work with. And I like getting Babineau that ball in all that open space.
Kick is up. Kick is good. 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and if you've just tuned in, you missed a lot. Wreckin' Rams 28, Sulphur 0, and as my boy Stryker likes to say, they're getting tore up. Stick around for more Wreckin' Ram productions here on YouTube. Welcome back to Bill Dotson Stadium. Eddie Hernandez deep to kick. Kick is high and deep, and again, not going to be returnable. So Sulphur's going to have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Incredible start. What more can you say about this start for Acadiana? We've seen the special teams make a couple of plays, some great returns from Colin DeBetta, the defense with a pick 6, and of course the offense, Russell Babineau with a score, Taden Collins with 2 scores, a couple of big passing plays from DeBetta, a big running play from DeBetta. I mean, it's pretty much exactly how you would want it to happen. Everything you're trying is working. You're trying some new things and it's working. You're trying some more reliable plays and it's working. Just an absolutely fantastic start for the Wreckin' Rams tonight.
2 receivers near side, 1 on the far side, and a running back on the side of Courtney. Snap. Looks far side. Throws. It's complete. Going to be tackled right away. Looks like it'll be a gain of 4. I think that was Mason LeBlanc, the junior wide receiver.
Looked like Dalen Lewis on the stop. He was right there, not going to give up much. You're okay with that, right? It's the same as if you were going to give up a 4-yard run, you give up a 4-yard pass, not giving up anything big, and you're not really feeling like they got anything working on offense. So you're okay with that, even though they get a positive play. They're still going to try to win the game, and you just got to kind of hold them to a minimal gain, and that's exactly what they did right there.
2nd and 7, ball at the 23. 2 receivers far side, 1 on the near side. Running back on the side of Courtney. There's also slot receiver going in motion near side. Snap. Handoff up the middle. Going to get a gain of 2. Not much going on. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Tornadoes.
And believe it or not, this is the Tornadoes' best field position at the 25-yard line. This is as far as they've gotten down the field so far. And we're nearing the end of the first quarter with the Wreckin' Rams already having 28 points on the board. The Sulphur Golden Tours are nowhere near getting across midfield at all so far in this game. But, they got at least a few positive yards working on this drive.
3rd and 5, ball at the 25. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, running back on the side of Courtney. 8 seconds on the play clock. Snap. Looks far side, throws. It's complete, but he'll be down. And there's your first down of the game by the Tornadoes, and that'll move the sticks.
Yeah, they just have to get the juices flowing and, get some things working. And there you go, a nice little dart from Courtney right there to get a first down. And look at that. So for going towards have something working.
That was, again, junior wide receiver number 17, Mason LeBlanc, on the catch. So, look, they maybe found something that, is working for him. Heading to that far side, looking for LeBlanc. 2 receivers far side, 1 in the near side, running back on the side of Courtney. 1st and 10, ball at the 32. Play clock at 10. Handoff up the middle, nothing doing right there. Going to be a loss of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 12.
And that was number 88, Jaden Carmouche, busting through the line and just a very athletic play. We've seen multiple plays like that this year from the Terrible Turks where they just kind of bust through that line, and before you know it, the players almost met at the mesh point and brought down. So, maybe the Sulphur thought they might have had something working by getting that first down, but the defense has shut them down so far on that first play.
2nd and 12. Ball on the 30-yard line. 1 receiver each side. Got a wing out to the left and a running back on the side of Courtney. 5 seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap, rolls near side, looking, throws it deep, and it's going to be offensive pass interference in and out of the hand of the intended receiver. Intended receiver on that one was number 12, Sawyer Kuipers, a sophomore wide receiver. He just flat out threw down the defensive back trying to make a play. This is easily going to be offensive pass interference.
Well, you'd think so. Let's see what the ref says. It did look like offensive pass interference.
Well, being that the defensive back was on the ground, Nick, I'm fairly certain what this call is going to be. Again, just a reminder at home, the referee tonight does have a mic.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Offensive pass interference. Number 1 of the offense. 15 yards from previous spot. Replay. 2nd down.
And honestly, a great play from the offense, from the wide receiver, because if he doesn't make that play, it's an interception. I mean, he had it tracked down. He was going to bring it in. So if you don't make that play, you cost your team 15 yards, but at least you keep the football.
So Sulphur way behind the 8 ball here on 2nd down. It's going to be 2nd and 27. Ball is going to be respotted at the 15-yard line. But, folks, that's going to be the end of your first quarter. Again, your Wreckin' Rams 28, the Sulphur Tours 0. Stick around for some more Wreckin' Ram productions here on YouTube. Welcome back to Bill Dotson Stadium. You start of the second quarter. Acadiana leading 28-0 against Sulphur. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 near side. Drops back. Looks to swing it out well over the head of his intended receiver. He was looking for the senior wide receiver, Ian Malone.
One of the byproducts of that offensive pass interference, Sulphur had something going there. They had picked up a first down. They were across the 30-yard line. That 15-yard penalty has put them all the way inside their own 20, right at the 15-yard line. So if there was even an ounce of momentum or an inkling of hope for them on offense, that penalty kind of took it all away. And again, it's still a good play because I think that Acadiana gets the interception without it, but now you're way back in your own end zone.
3rd and 27, ball of the 15. Line to gain is the 32-yard line. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Handoff up the middle. going to be a short gain of 2 or 3, and there's a flag on the play. I kind of saw that as well, Nick. This might be a face mask.
Well, I will say this. If it is a face mask and a 15-yard penalty, it's not going to be an automatic first down with the high school rules. So they'll get a big chunk, and they'll probably regain all of that penalty yardage from the offensive pass interference, but they'll still have to get that first down.
Foul, face mask. Number 54, Green, 15 yards from the previous spot. Replay, third down.
Valen Charles called for the infraction right there, but it'll be a 15-yard penalty, but as Nick said, it's not an automatic first down. It's still going to be 3rd and 10, so a chance for the Terrible Turks to still make a stop here.
Obviously, you don't want Charles making that penalty, but that's an effort penalty. Like, you live with that. It's the pre-snap penalties that'll kill you. I mean, you don't want to get a face mask or a harsh collar or anything like that, but those kind of happen in the flow of the game. It's the pre-snaps that Acadiana's worried about stopping.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side, 1 running back on the side of Courtney. Hard count, nothing doing. Courtney getting under center here. 15 seconds on the play clock. That's false start against the Sulphur Tornadoes on the, I'm going to say the right guard flinched, and the defense saw it.
I'm not sure what Sulphur's trying to do with kind of running that play clock down. I guess they want to slow the tempo down and maybe try to find something working with their rhythm. But at this point, you're down 28-0. I mean, you gotta kind of keep it rolling.
Here's my theory on it, Nick. I think they're wasting as much of the play clock as they can to keep their defense off the field. Their defense has been on the field the entire first quarter, and we saw it last week with Nish. You're burning out your defense because your offense is going 3 and out every time they touch the football.
This feels like with a freshman quarterback, you're allowing him more time to have to make a decision, more time for something wrong to happen, and you saw it happen right there on that false start.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Looking far side, throws it deep. Just out of reach, and there's a flag on the play. I don't know about this one.
Courtney's pass is incomplete.
Wow.
Oof. On the coverage, it looked like number 12, Keon Leday. I imagine this will be defensive pass interference, but I don't agree with this one, Nick.
Pass interference, number 12, Green, not playing the ball, 15 yards, first down.
Yeah, so that one is going to give him a first down. Not an automatic first down, but it was a 3rd and 13, so your 15-yard penalty is going to be enough for a first down. If they're saying he wasn't playing the ball, I just don't feel like they saw the same play that I did. He was making a play on the ball. He just missed it, and they kind of ran into each other. But he looked at the ball, had his eyes on the ball, and just kind of ran into the receiver. I don't know if that's...
Keep in mind, folks, you just saw a 3rd and 30 go down the drain right there. Nonetheless, let's reset 1st and 10. Ball at the 43. Snap. Handoff. No, he's going to keep it. Rolls near side. Ball is complete. Breaks a tackle. He'll be brought down at about the 50. That's going to be a gain of roughly 6 or 7. It's going to be 2nd and 4.
There's another thing that has plagued the defense so far this year. It hasn't hurt them yet. It hasn't cost them yet. But not being able to make that first tackle, that first broken tackle, has happened a lot, very often in these Acadiana games. And, man, that's got to get cleaned up. When you start playing some of these top-tier teams, once you get into the postseason, and you don't make that first tackle, they're going to make you pay with a big gain or even a touchdown. So that's something that has really been a problem all year long so far.
2nd and 3, ball at the 50. 10:50 left to go in your second quarter. Acadiana leading Sulphur 28-0. Flag on the play.
Flags on the play.
It's got to be false start.
Prior to the snap, snap infraction, number 63, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
High school referees just call penalties differently, right? They always have different names for it. I know in basketball, instead of charging, they'll call it like player control. And here the guy said snap infraction is what he called the false start. Like, it's just different official names for penalties. It always cracks me up.
While we have a second, want to give some love to one of the most decorated running backs in school history. Happy birthday to Mr. Dylan Monette from Wreckin' Ram Productions. 2nd and 8. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Slot receiver goes in motion, 3-step drop, looking, getting run down. He's going to be brought down, ball's on the ground, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass. So a heck of a job right there by Maureen Cooper to run down Noah Courtney, the Sulphur quarterback, and they will call it an incomplete pass, but it could have just as easily been a fumble.
I'm glad you had your eyes on the play because I was watching down here on the near side. Number 54 for Sulphur had his helmet off, but he was still trying to make the play, and they were just blocking and fighting, and he didn't even have his helmet on. He was still trying to get that play. That's what I was focused on. So Good thing for you. You were watching the actual play because I wasn't.
That's what they pay me for. That's play by play is in the checks that they write. So, but no, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. You expect them to go to the air here? I mean, they've done so more on this drive.
Well, this is their best field position. I think you got to. You can't give up this drive. You got to try to make it right here. Even though you have a freshman back there, he's going to have to make something happen here.
2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Snap. Handoff up the middle, nothing doing. And that's why I asked that question, Nick, because earlier in the ball game, we saw them hand off on these 3rd and longs, almost like a delayed draw type deal, and it just has not worked. I don't understand the play call.
Yeah, Cole, that's very surprising. If we're just being honest, this is probably going to be the best field position they have all night. It is so far in this first half, and for them to not even let the freshman make a play and try to make an effort is very surprising. I mean, he hasn't done much in the passing game, but at this point where you're across the 40-yard line, you can't give up right there. You're pretty much giving up the game at this point.
Russell Babineau and Colin DeBetta back deep, the 2 playmakers. Let's see if either one of them get a chance. Kick is away, but it's going to be out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, so no return. But not some terrible field position for that Veer machine.
Yeah, back to that drive by Sulphur. We saw it last week with New Iberia, where New Iberia was kind of giving up drives, and you're thinking, guys, this is the first time you've had anything going. It's not much, but you got something going. They're across the 40-yard line. If they want to try to not even win the game, just put some points on the board. You got to give your team a chance. And I feel like right there on a 3rd and 13, you're running the ball. You're kind of just giving up, and you're kind of telling your team, guys, we don't have enough to beat this team. It's only the first half. We've seen crazier things. Yeah, the score's 28-0, but when you got something working, give your team a chance. I felt like the Sulphur coaches kind of took it out of their players' hands right there.
Fakes the handoff, drops back to pass. Got a pass rush coming. Look at the young man break all of that. He's across the 40, and that's another Wreckin Ram first down. What a great job by the senior quarterback to avoid getting sacked and then rumble downfield for a 12-yard gain.
Great vision up the field. Great way to see his lanes. Everybody was covered downfield. He had nothing to throw. Only thing he could have done was force it into a tight window, and instead of doing that, tuck and run. I think everybody thought he was going to try to force it, and he didn't. And that's the difference between having a freshman at quarterback and a senior at quarterback. Caden DeBetta completely understands what he's doing, completely comfortable in the offense, and right there tucks and runs and gets a big gain. 1st and 10, ball at the 43. Receiver goes in motion. That's Babineau. It's a reverse. He's gone.
Here he goes, and no flag on the play. He's across the 30, across the 20. That's Colin DeBetta. He's going to be in the end zone, but I think this is going to be an illegal shift of some sort because as soon as he took the handoff, the referee on the near side threw the flag. Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, and McCullough knows it, too. He's not mad at the officials. He's mad at the player, whoever the penalty was on. He saw it right away, too. But nonetheless, how about the speed from Colin DeBetta? I mean, as soon as he broke it on the outside, you knew he was gone. He had clean field all the way ahead of him, and he went all the way.
Number 83, offense. 10 yards from the spot of a foul. Replay, first down.
Sometimes the officials get it wrong, and sometimes they get it right, and I think he got it right there. I didn't see the penalty, but Matt saw it, and you could tell the way he was acting towards whatever player got the hold. He saw it as well. So, sometimes you got to give the officials a little credit when they get it right. I think he got it right there.
Yeah, number 83, senior tight end Jaden Bassard on the holding penalty. So that'll back up the Rams. It's going to be 1st and 15. Ball's going to be moved back to about the 39-yard line. 8:35 left to go in your first half. Acadiana holding that 28-0 lead.
Even though that play got called back, you see what we're talking about with the explosiveness of Colin DeBetta, the explosiveness of Russell Babineau. Both players have kind of been on display. This is the first time we've kind of seen them on display, being able to show that speed. They have a couple of catches for touchdowns, but not really getting that ball in open space and making something happen. We've seen both of them make it happen so far tonight.
Acadiana going to take a timeout down on the field, and we're going to take a timeout up here. Stick around for more Wreckin Ram Productions here on YouTube. Back here at Bill Dotson Stadium. Just a reminder, it is homecoming tonight. Your Wreckin' Rams leading the Sulphur Tornadoes 28-0. 8:35 left to go in the second quarter. 1st and 15, ball at the 38-yard line. One receiver to each side, in tight. Snap, fakes the handoff, 5-step drop, looking, and he's going to get sacked. Just couldn't find anything downfield. He's going to lose about 4 yards. Acadiana's going to be faced with a 2nd and 19.
Yeah, and look, so far, great coverage by the Sulphur defense. On the first time they had great coverage, DeBetta kind of tucked and ran and got it upfield for a big gain. And that time, he dropped back to throw it. Again, great coverage from Sulphur, not allowing it to happen and kind of creating that sack. That's what they call a coverage sack. The kids will call it a coverage sack.
I do want to give some credit to the Sulphur defensive line. They've stopped the run pretty well. They've actually got after the quarterback a time or two. So, they're trying hard down here for scores. Handoff. That's the Tayden Collins, cuts it back up the middle, breaks a tackle, but he's not able to break the shoestring tackle. Going to get a large chunk of that back, about a gain of 11 and 12. It's going to be 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, just a quick little inside run play right there, and Collins kind of busted, shows his speed. And again, second game in a row without Jonah Goche, second game in a row where you don't really need him. It's not really a factor. And I think it's a credit to Coach McCullough and the decision to keep Jonah out both of these games and not really miss a beat, blowing out New Iberia last week and now blowing out Sulphur and not really needing your bell cow is a great luxury to have.
3rd and 4, ball at the 49. Handoff. Trying to turn the corner near side, he does. This is Logan Charles across the 40, across the 30, trying to cut it back up. He's across the 25 and down at about the 23-yard line. Number 2, the senior Logan Charles, who had a great week last week with a big first down carry.
It's not a name that we call that often when Goche and Collins are getting the bulk of the carries, but with Goche out, Charles is getting his opportunity and really making the most of it. Had a great game last week, a nice run there, showing that he has the ability. And if Jonah should happen to be out for any extended period of time, you're not going to really miss a beat in these district games because Charles can kind of go in there and pick up the slack. So lots of senior running backs and senior leadership on this offensive side of the ball.
Collins and Charles, 3-step drop.
Hit him.
He had a man, decides to keep it himself, turns the corner. He's across the 15, across the 10. He's going to be pushed out at about the 10-yard line, and that should be enough for a Wreckin' Ram first down.
He's just making the right decisions. I mean, we both saw the open receiver. If he throws it to that receiver, it might be an 8-yard gain. Instead, he keeps it, and he gets the first down. He's just making the right decisions tonight. He's really made the right decisions all year long, and that's his understanding. That's what everybody was telling me in the offseason, how big of a jump he took in understanding the offense between last year and this year. And last year, I thought he had a pretty good grip on it, but this year you can just tell he's so much comfortable, so much more confident in his decision making, and more often not making the right decision, and he did it again there.
1st and 10 Rams, ball of the 11. 6:30 left to go in your first half. Screen pass to Colin DeBetta, trying to break a tackle. He's not able to do so, but he does take a couple of defenders with him for a gain of about 6, and it's going to be 2nd and 4, ball at the 5-yard line.
I think the Golden Tours knew that play was coming because they had him locked up. They had 2 defenders on him right away, and yet DeBetta was still able to get a 6-yard gain. Kind of like it was going to be nothing, or it might even be dropped for a loss, and somehow, some way he kind of busts through and gets a 6-yard gain. And once again, the Rams are right in where they want to be inside that red zone and scoring position, and just everything kind of going their way, doing whatever they want and having success with it.
Just a reminder, I see in the comment section here, Jonah Goche is out with a sore toe tonight. 2nd week in a row. I think it's nothing major. They're just monitoring his progress. 2nd and 4, toss play. Tayden Collins trying to turn the outside corner, but a heck of a job there by the Sulphur defensive back, Isis LeBaron, the senior, to bring him down for a loss, and he's going to lose about 4 on that one.
Yeah, back to Jonah, though. I do think it's precautionary. I mean, we do want to emphasize that. I was talking to Matt last week after the game, and he was like, look, if we needed Jonah to go, he could go. He's not seriously injured, but, I mean, look at the score last week. They blew New Iberia out, put 60 points on the board, and New Iberia didn't score. And look, just score tonight. I mean, you're rolling Sulphur tonight, and they really haven't been able to do anything to stop your offense. So why, when you have a kid who might be, a little hampering injury, why put him out there? Just hold him out. You're not missing a beat.
5 seconds on the play clock. Snap. Drops back to pass. He throws it near side. It's a one-on-one, but it's going to be wide of the intended receiver, Russell Babineau. So it's going to be 4th and 8. And here comes Eddie Hernandez.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I was going to ask you if you thought Eddie was going to come out. But, normally I think if this was a close game, a competitive game, they might have gone for it right here. But give Eddie an opportunity to see what he can do. We saw him boot one from 40 yards away at STM. We know he's got the ability, but you got to keep his confidence up, keep him fresh, and keep him in the game, and know that whenever we need you later down the road in a tight game, we're going to have the opportunity to do it. So I like this move right here by getting Eddie a kick.
Number 13, Edward Hernandez holding.
Looks like it'll be about a 25-yard kick. Kick is up. Kick is good. 4:45 left to go in your first half. Acadiana takes a 31-0 lead against the Sulphur Tornadoes. Stick around for more Wreckin' Ram productions here on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, could our homecoming parents please go down to the track? All of our homecoming parents, please go down to the track.
Welcome back to Bill Dotson Stadium here on homecoming. 4:47 left to go in your first half. Acadiana holding a 31-0 lead against the Sulphur Tornadoes. Eddie Hernandez back to kick. Kick is away. It's high and it's deep. Not going to be returnable. And the Golden Tours will have it 1st and 10 at the 20.
I want to go back to that decision by the coaching staff to let Eddie kick that field goal. It's just so big when you're in a game like this and you're kind of just going through the motions and the team's just hitting on all cylinders and scoring touchdowns and the drive stalls. And if it was a competitive game, I think they would have gone for it. But here, you got the game in hand. Let the kid go out there and show what he's happens. We've seen that he has the ability to put him through the uprights and be a weapon. So it's nice to get him on the board and get him in the stat sheet and kind of get keep him fresh whenever we're going to need him later on.
2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side, running back on the side of Courtney. 1st and 10, ball of the 20. Snap, handoff. Cuts it up. Good run right there. One of the better runs that we've seen tonight. He's going to get a gain of, let's call it 4, looking at 2nd and 6.
Yeah, if Sulphur has the ability to kind of break it outside and not necessarily go up the middle, but get anything on either edge, they may have some success. That's the only time teams have had success against Acadiana. If they're busting up the middle or trying to get yards, those hard-fought yards inside, the Terrible Turks are not allowing that to happen this year. So if they want to do anything, if Sulphur wants to do anything, it's going to have to be on the outside.
That was junior running back Tyler Jobert on the carry. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Running back Jobert on the side of Courtney. Snap. Handoff again to Jobert, trying to turn the corner, and he ain't going to get there. Number 11, Amorian Cooper, brings him down for a loss of about 5. And once again, the Golden Tours faced with a 3rd and long.
Individual effort from Cooper right there, outstanding to not allow anything to happen. They tried to do exactly what they did on the other side of the field, on this side of the field, and Cooper was having none of it. Great play by Amarian to stop that behind the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 11. Ball of the 19. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 near side. I'm not seeing J.D. LaFleur at all tonight, Nick. I just thought about that.
I was going to mention that at halftime.
5 seconds on the play clock. Snap. Fakes the pass, trying to get around. He's going to dump it off. Oh, I tell you what, he's lucky that was short of his intended receiver because the defensive back for the Wreckin' Rams right there tried to jump that route. It looks like it was Dalen Lewis, or excuse me, it looks like it was Keeman Thibodeau looking for another interception.
The pressure on the quarterback didn't allow him to get everything he wanted on that throw. But I think if he makes the throw that he wants to make, that's going to be an interception. So the pressure on the quarterback and affecting the throw kind of made it a sit and duck in the air. But if he gets everything he wants on that throw, it's going to be a pick.
Colin DeBetta back deep to receive. 3:11 left to go in this half. It's a high snap. He's going to get it away, though, but it's a low one. Bounces at about the 40 and kicks out at about the 44 or 43-yard line. So Acadiana's going to have this ball in plus field position to try to get some points before the half.
We go back to a couple series ago when Sulphur had the ball at the 40-yard line and decided to give it up. It's so weird and so strange that they would do that because Acadiana's going to score. I mean, they got the ball right here, they're going to score. Every time they've gotten the ball, they're going to score. So when you know that you're punting the football or giving it back to them, you're basically giving up another 7 points to Acadiana. So why not go for it, especially when you're in that good field position? I think it was kind of waving the white flag and just very strange so early in the game to do that for me.
3:03 left to go in the half. One receiver to each side. Snap, fakes the handoff, rolls far side, pulls up and throws it downfield. He's got a man. It's complete at the 30, not able to break a tackle, and that's where he'll be brought down. So it'll be enough for a Wreckin' Ram first down. It looks like Russell Babineau with another catch.
And Babineau was wide open. I mean, he had a halo around him of about probably 10 yards before there were any defenders anywhere close to him. And DeBetta just kind of sat back and hit him right in the chest. There was no pass rush and nobody around Babineau to affect the play. So, it's kind of like you're just doing what you want and everything's working right now. Passing, throwing, running. I mean, whatever they want to call, it's working right now for the Wreckin' Rams.
1st and 10, ball at the 30. 2:30 left to go in the half. Acadiana leading 31-0. Handoff up the middle. Looks like Logan Charles on the carry. Good little run right there. Going to get a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I don't like the fact that Jonah's hurt, obviously, and he's working on that toe. But I do like the fact that Charles is stepping in and just showing what you got, right? And who knows? Maybe Gautier's injury is a little worse than we think, and he is going to have to miss multiple games. And it's just good to know that you have, of course, Tatum Collins, but Charles to step in and kind of pick up that slack.
One receiver to each side, 2nd and 7. It's a reverse. Trying to turn the corner near side's Colin DeBetta. Breaks a tackle. He's across the 25, across the 20. Does he have enough for the first down? He does. It's a Wreckin' Ram first down on another reverse by Colin DeBetta. The reason I tapped you, Nick, I just got a note here from a friend of mine who's a Sulphur fan, actually Striker Troll, who lives out in Sulphur, who says J.D. LaFleur is actually in a boot tonight and he is not active.
Oh, there we go. Who knew we were going to get our inside Sulphur information from Striker Charles? Nobody would have had that on their bingo card.
Well, his wife is a Sulphur graduate.
Well, there you go.
Ms. Bryce Tremonti. But 1st and 10 Rams, handoff is to Parker Bruno. Look at that young man pump his feet. I tell you what a good run right there by Bruno. Going to be a gain of 8. Looks like 2nd and 2.
Hadn't really called his name tonight so far, but a nice run from Bruno, get him in the action. He had the fumble against STM, and we saw him have that big play to open up the game against New Iberia to kind of get his confidence back, and it looks like he's in the swing of things, and he's in the backfield right here on this play.
2 receivers to the far side. 2nd and 2, handoff. No, he's going to keep it himself, trying to roll. He dumps it off far side to Logan Charles. It's complete. Across the 5, touchdown. And he's in the end zone. Logan Charles, the senior running back, with his 2nd touchdown of the night, and Acadiana in complete control, 37-0.
Great job tiptoeing down right there. He kind of lost his balance. The ball was kind of behind him, and he kind of tripped over his own feet, caught it, regained his balance, and found his way to the end zone. Nice play by Logan Charles there, and the Wreckin' Rams are rolling in the first half.
45 seconds left to go in the first half. Tyler Martina to hold, who we'll probably see after halftime at quarterback, and Eddie Hernandez to kick. Snap is good, kick is up, kick is good. 38-0. Wreckin' Rams in total control here at Bill Dotson Stadium. Stick around for the remainder of the first half on Wreckin' Ram Productions on YouTube.
Hernandez to kick, deep for Sulphur, number 5. Tracy Washington.
Back here at Bill Dotson Stadium, had a good laugh right there, looking down right below us. old head coach Ted Davidson, the Wreckin' Ram legend, right underneath us right here. And it's good to see TD down here
What do you think
and
he
in the
thinks
stands.
when he looks at the field and his name's on the field?
I mean, that's got to be an awesome feeling. Great job by Eddie to kick that one in the end zone. He kept it just inside the pylon, so another 1st and 10. Ball will be at the 20, and I imagine, Sulphur to just kind of run a couple plays, maybe keep the ball on the ground and take this one into halftime.
And, we talked about Coach Davidson. He's right there talking to Coach Hanks. You talk about some legends right there. The two men that took over after Coach Dotson and kind of brought this program into the current state that it's in. Coach Hanks and Coach Dotson kind of catching up right there. Nice to see.
1st and 10, ball at the 20. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. I don't expect anything other than a handoff right here, Nick. Snap, handoff. Not able to turn the far side corner. Gonna lose about 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd and 13. Let's see on the carry. That's a new number that I haven't called tonight. Actually, it's number 7 for Sulphur. He's not even on my roster, so not sure who got the carry right there.
And Cole, we're expecting to see the Acadiana backups. I'm sure we're going to see the Sulphur backups as well. I mean, they're not going to let their starters play in a game that's 38-0 and things aren't really going your way. So I'd expect to see some backups early in the second half. We saw them early in the second half last week for Acadiana. I would say the same thing.
And Sulphur's going to be content to just let this one go to halftime. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've missed this first half, you've missed a lot. Your Wreckin' Rams lead the Sulphur Golden Tours 38-0. Nick, we talked about it before the game. All you had to do was show up, come out the gate hot, and the rest would take care of itself. We mentioned it. There was no hotter start, at least in recent memory, than what Acadiana did tonight. They scored 2 or 3 touchdowns within the first 3 minutes of the ball game. I mean, spectacular job both offensively and defensive tonight for the Rams in the first half.
Yeah, it was 49 seconds into the game, and they already had both an offensive and a defensive touchdown on the board. 21 points in the first 3 minutes. I mean, just a fast start for Acadiana, and you couldn't really ask for much more. We talked about the level of the opponent and playing up or playing down to your opponent and not doing either one of those, and I feel like they're doing a really good job last week against New Iberia, taking care of their business and blowing New Iberia out, and here the same thing, taking care of business and blowing the opponents out. It's a lot more difficult than you think it is to play like this. When you're playing against a team like this where you're just outmanning them, to come out and have such a perfect performance like they had in the first half, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to just roll the ball out and put 38 points on a team even though you're better than them. So very impressive to see what Acadiana's done, not playing down to their opponent and showing that they have, a capability to be really special this year.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to keep it here for a little bit. Keep in mind, Nick, it is homecoming tonight, so we will give a chance. Oh, excuse me, they're actually going to start the homecoming festivities now. We will take a break after the festivities are over. We'll go ahead and come back with a little halftime report for you guys. But go ahead and enjoy the sounds down on the field and continue watching Wreckin' Ram Productions here on YouTube.
For your halftime entertainment, Acadiana High School is proud to present our 2024 homecoming ceremony. Due to time constraints, we ask that you please hold your applause until all maids have been announced. Maid Trinity Calais is the daughter of Rondell Calais Baker and Chris Baker. Trinity's greatest high school memory is going to Miss Idris' class because she made it fun to learn. After graduation, she plans to attend college and obtain a BSN in nursing. Tonight, Trinity is escorted by her father, Chris Baker.
Maid Abigail Carlson is the daughter of Elena Carlson and Stephen Carlson. Abigail's greatest high school memories are the bus rides home after away games during softball season. After graduation, she plans to attend college to become an ultrasound technician. Tonight, Abigail is escorted by her father, Stephen Carlson.
Maid Evelyn Casanova is the daughter of Guadalupe Casanova and Jesus Casanova. Evelyn's greatest high school memory is walking around school to take pictures for homecoming dress-up days. After graduation, she plans to travel and attend college. Tonight, Evelyn is escorted by her father, Jesus Casanova.
Maid Riley Como is the daughter of Brandy Viatar and Rustin Como. Riley's greatest high school memory is cheering on the sidelines at the Superdome. After graduation, she plans to attend the nursing program at UL. Tonight, Riley is escorted by her father, Rustin Como.
Maid Jada Harmon is the daughter of Clarice Harmon and James Harmon. Jada's greatest high school memory is experiencing the 2023 football season on the sidelines, assisting the football team, and celebrating the wins with her friends. After graduation, she plans to attend LSU and major in social work. Tonight, Jada is escorted by her father, James Harmon.
Maid Anaya Hebert is the daughter of Lakeitha Allen and Brandon Hebert. Anaya's greatest high school memory is cheering with her friends at the Superdome. After graduation, she plans to attend LSU with a pre-med major in biochemistry. Tonight, Anaya is escorted by her father, Brandon Hebert.
Maid Aaliyah LeBlanc is the daughter of Letitia LeBlanc and Nathan LeBlanc. Aaliyah's greatest high school memory is being an athletic assistant while her brother, Grayson, was a football manager. After graduation, she plans to attend UL and study nursing with the hopes of becoming a traveling nurse. Tonight, Aaliyah is escorted by her mother, Letitia LeBlanc.
Maid Gabriella Lapinto is the daughter of Chantel Lapinto and Sal Lapinto. Gabriella's greatest high school memory is cheering on the sidelines for the semi-final playoff game in New Orleans. After graduation, she plans to attend Florida Atlantic University and major in criminal law. Tonight, Gabriella is escorted by her mother, Chantel Lapinto.
Maid Haley Wing is the daughter of Flower Rue and Tuck Wing. Haley's greatest high school memories are Friday night lights when everyone comes together to cheer on the boys. After graduation, she plans to attend LSU and major in pre-med. Tonight, Haley is escorted by her father, Tuck Wing.
Maid Maitland Patton is the daughter of Shelley Landry and Chris Guidry. Maitland's greatest high school memory is getting to cheer in the Superdome. After graduation, she plans to attend school to become an air hostess. Tonight, Maitland is escorted by her stepfather, Chris Guidry.
Maid Elise Prejean is the daughter of Jay Blair and Chris Prejean. Elise's greatest high school memory is dancing on the sidelines for the AHS dance team. After graduation, she plans to attend LSU for nursing and to make the Golden Girls dance team. Tonight, Elise is escorted by her father, Chris Prejean.
Maid Riley Como is the daughter of Brandy Vietar. Maid Patricia Rivers is the daughter of Kenyatta Rivers and Warren Rivers. Patricia's greatest high school memory is cheering for her volleyball team when they played ARCA last year. After graduation, she plans to attend UL and major in finance in order to become a CPA. Tonight, Patricia is escorted by her father, Warren Rivers.
Maid Dulce Rodriguez is the daughter of Nina Rodriguez and Cesar Rodriguez. Dulce's greatest high school memory is the Edna Carr football game last year. After graduation, she plans to attend college and major in political science with the hopes of going to law school and becoming an immigration lawyer. Tonight, Dulce is escorted by her father, Cesar Rodriguez.
Maid Ellen Thibodeau is the daughter of Erica Thibodeau and Craig Thibodeau. Ellen's greatest high school memory is when she got to announce the homecoming court and homecoming queen her sophomore year. After graduation, she plans to attend the UL nursing program in the hopes of becoming a nurse practitioner. Tonight, Ellen is escorted by her father, Craig Thibodeau.
Maid Fiona Vo is the daughter of Dana Tran and Het Vo. Fiona's greatest high school memory is the water wars at the end of her junior year. After graduation, she plans to attend a four-year university and major in engineering. Tonight, Fiona is escorted by her father, Sao Tran.
And now, the moment we have all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, we will now announce our first and second maid and the 2024 Homecoming Queen. Our assistant principals, Mrs. Email and Miss Davenport, will present the traditional bouquet of mums to our second maid. Our second maid is Dulce Rodriguez. Our assistant principals, Mr. Kelly and Mr. McLean, will present a lovely bouquet of mums to our first maid. The first maid for the 2024 Acadiana High Homecoming Court is Aaliyah LeBlanc.
And now, our principal, Mr. St. Pierre, will crown our queen and present her with a lovely bouquet of mums. Your queen for the 2024 Acadiana High School Homecoming Court is Evelyn Casanova. On behalf of the Acadiana High School student body, faculty, and guests, we extend our congratulations and best wishes to our Queen, Evelyn Casanova, and her court during her reign.
Y'all ready? Let's go.
Success is more than winning and losing. It's a mindset. Season after season, we put in the work to beat the competition. For Courtesy Automotive, much like the Wreckin Rams, being elite isn't just our goal, it's our legacy. Let's go, Rams.
Family owned and operated, Motel Construction will bring 3 generations of excellence every Friday. From full roof replacements and repairs to carpentry, painting, and more, we handle it all with top-notch quality. We also offer free inspections and financing options to fit your needs. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, our commitment to quality is unmatched. Call Close Health Instructions today for your free inspection and take the first step to a secure, beautiful home. Go Cloto and go Rams.
I'm Coach Desmond, and I believe a winning team is more than any one player. This is why I chose a team at Galloway Jeffco. They built a team of legal experts, attorneys, paralegals, and investigators, all working together to get you the compensation you deserve. Don't be blindsided by the insurance company. Call Galloway Jeffco. Let them be your game changer.
Galloway Jeffco, turning wrong into right.
I don't know Jake from State Farm.
But just imagine, Mahomes and my auto. Best bundle in the league, baby.
Man, why can't Patrick change his name? It could be Kelsey, and Kelsey how much you can save by bundling home and auto. Yeah? Make the letters smaller.
Let's go. Come on, Mom, get it. Put your jersey on.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Tackle the road with courtesy value.
Because every vehicle is equipped with tons of value.
Score big with the courtesy value advantage.
1, we have a huge selection all on one website. 2, you can't pay too much for a vehicle at Courtesy.
Because every vehicle comes with a courtesy value guarantee. Including a warranty that covers hundreds of items. So you get top dollar if you decide to trade it in. 3, decide you don't love it, you got 3 days to exchange. Take the winning drive to your local courtesy value dealer.
Downtime and AC affects learning. Our children need the proper learning environment. That requires AC. We hired STAR to do a job. STAR does that job. They report that to us on a monthly basis in the meeting. They take care of everything A to Z. We have no involvement. It's kind of like when you build a house turnkey, dealing with STAR is turnkey. They take care of what they take care of. No responsibility on us. I would recommend it not just to the school system, but to anyone that wants top-notch HVAC service company.
As a dad and a cardiologist, I know how important heart health is for the entire family. The health of your family's heart is my mission. So let's work together to keep your loved ones healthy and active. I'm Dr. Brent Rochelle. Schedule an appointment today. Go Rams!
Uncle T's Oyster Bar in Scott is the destination for Acadiana's best local seafood.
Featuring delicious oysters, po' boys, specialty dishes.
Welcome back at halftime here at Bill Dotson Stadium. Your Wreckin' Rams all over the Sulphur Tours, 38-0. Before we start this halftime show, though, you guys may have saw, want to give a little love to our newly crowned queen here, Miss Evelyn Casanova, 2024 queen of homecoming for the Wreckin' Rams. But let's turn the page to this football game. It's been all Wreckin' Rams. It's pretty similar to what we saw last week against Nish. Not much fight offensively or defensively from the Tornadoes tonight. Saw a couple of bright spots, if you want to call it that, a couple of completions to the far side, moved the ball a little bit. But overall, Acadiana's just been way too overpowering for the Golden Tours.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a factor it would have been if J.D. LaFleur were playing in this game. The tight end that's going to LSU from Sulphur. We found out midway through the first half that he's in a boot. He's not going to be playing in this game. So I'm not sure it would have been much different. Maybe they have a little bit of a dynamic on offense that they could have exploited, especially with that freshman quarterback. You know, he's going to always go to the tight end and kind of as a safety valve. But nonetheless, he's not in this game, man. Nonetheless, the Wreckin' Rams have just dominated in every facet of the game, every step of the way. And looking at the scoreboard at 38-0, it's very similar to what happened last week at New Iberia, where New Iberia just couldn't do anything. And you know, there was one specific drive that sticks in my mind for Sulphur when they had got the benefit of a penalty, a 15-yard penalty that kind of gave them the field position, the best field position they've had all day. And they were across that 40-yard line. It was 1st and 10. Make the two quick plays, got them to about, I guess it was maybe a 3rd and 8, and they ran the football. And to me, that was just giving up not only that drive, but giving up the entire game. Because if you're gonna just willingly give the ball back to Acadiana when they're doing what they're doing today, running the football and throwing the football and special teams making plays, you're giving up a touchdown. Every time Acadiana touches the football, they're going to score a touchdown. And if you're not coaching with that understanding, then you're giving up the game. And I feel like that's what Sulphur did it was very early in the second quarter. They kind of waved the white flag there, and Acadiana, look, they're taking advantage. I talked about it before. We went to break at halftime. You can talk about the opponent all you want and how it's a lesser opponent and how you're outmanning them and your athletes are better than theirs, but you still have to go down there and execute, and you are going to get everybody's best effort, and that's what they're getting from Sulphur tonight, and their best effort just happens to be
Pick up your Wreckin Rams
points and a negative. So Acadiana, they're the cream of the crop of the district, and they're showing it why tonight, 38-0. I'm not sure I would have predicted as big of a blowout as they had last week against New Iberia, and I don't think I would have predicted 38-0 at halftime. I definitely would have predicted having 2 touchdowns before the first minute of gameplay around the clock. So it's just been very impressive these last 2 weeks to kind of have Acadiana come out and execute with the way that they want to, do everything they want to with success, and it kind of just showed that, look, everybody expects us to get to the end, everybody expects us to be in that season Superdome, but before we do that, we got to take care of our business week after week, and they're doing a really good job of it.
Let's go ahead down on the field, Nick, and I want to ask you this question. We saw it last week with Nish, where they didn't bring the starters back out in the second half. You think we see the second team right away in this game?
I do. I think we're already seeing them kind of line up, and I think you're going to see Tyler Martina at quarterback. And look, when those freshmen and sophomores and young kids got in last week, they had success. They didn't stop. They scored touchdowns. They brought that lead all the way up to where it was. I believe it was 62-0. I mean, that was a lot. Everything that happened in the second half was the second unit, and so I think you're going to get that second unit. We're going to go deep into the roster and call some names that we haven't called all night, that we might not call that often this year, but they're making plays, and it also, as an Acadiana fan, gives you a sneak peek as to what your offense is going to look like. We saw those 2 running backs, Simon or Simon. I wasn't really sure if it was Simon or Simon, and the other kid, 25, Kennerson, makes some big plays. We saw Ty the offense have a big understanding of what it is, so you kind of get that sneak peek of what it's going to be next year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the teams are down on the field. Sulphur's going to be receiving the second half kickoff. Eddie Hernandez deep to kick. What a great night of football, Nick. I was expecting the weather to come in, but it's just a great night. Eddie Hernandez, second half kickoff. High and deep and in the end zone, and he's done this time after time after time, and that one almost hit the post. 1st and 10 for the Tories on the 20.
The weather call. You and I went down at halftime to kind of enjoy the homecoming festivities and see Miss Casanova get crowned as homecoming queen, and the weather is just perfect. I mean, it is not hot. It's not too cold. I know you don't like the cold weather.
No, I do not.
It's not that cold yet, so it's just a perfect night for football, perfect fall evening here at Bilodasa Stadium, and of course, the best part of Acadiana taking care of business on the field.
So to start the second half, for those of you just tuning in, 38-0, man, and I gotta say it again, Sulphur's getting tore up.
And cool, if you look on the defensive side for Acadiana, it's not very familiar numbers. I think they're putting in some of the backups.
2 receivers near side, 1 far side, 2 running backs on the side of Courtney, and there's a flag, pre-snap penalty.
Flag on the play.
Too many men on the field here? I believe that is the call.
Substitution infraction. Offense, number 24, 12 men in the formation, 5 yards. First down.
See what I'm saying? Like the officials in high school, it's all very official names, very, by the book. Substitution infraction, 12 men, blah, blah, blah. Just 12 men on the field. Too many men. That's what it is.
Too many men. 1st and 15, handoff. No, he's going to keep it himself on an option. Pitches on the ground. That's a live football. But a great job by the quarterback. I believe that's Courtney to jump back on the pitch. Man, that's great awareness by the freshman quarterback, because we've seen where, a bad pitch, maybe, somebody doesn't jump on it. Good job to follow his pitch and land on that football.
Good point, Cole, because the decision to make the pitch was a poor one, but he kind of picked himself back up and said, I made a mistake. Let me go try to get back on there, and he did a really good job. So you're going to have that with a freshman. You're going to have him, a little bit unsettled, a little bit uncomfortable back there, and right there I think that's what it was, just uncomfortable with what to do and made a poor decision on the pitch.
2nd and 15, ball at the 15. 2 receivers near side, 2 running backs. Snap, handoff, up the middle, looking for a lane. Gonna find a small one, maybe a gain of 1 or 2. Let's call it 2. It's gonna be 3rd and about 13.
You're looking at that young man Courtney down there. If you're a Sulphur fan, you think in a couple of years, if he keeps being the quarterback and keeps running this offense, he might have something. They have some talent. They're kind of working with it. And a freshman quarterback is always going to make some mistakes. But when he becomes a sophomore and a junior and into the senior year and he gets that experience under his belt, I think they might have something here with this freshman.
Well, we saw it with Caden DeBetta starting as a sophomore. Now he's a senior, and you can see the result of that. You just got to continue to believe in him and let him grow in this system. One receiver to each side. Snap. Going to keep it himself, rolls, pulls up and throws across the middle. He's wide open across the 35, the 40, and he's going to be brought down just shy of the 45, out about the 44-yard line. Number 86, Jesse Garcia, listed as a junior running back, but he looks more of a tight end to me.
Yeah, it's definitely a tight end. I don't know if that's a mistake or if that's not actually Jesse Garcia, but nonetheless, a big play. And look, that's what we're talking about with a freshman, to kind of go to his tight end. Tight end is kind of a safety valve for a young quarterback, young inexperienced quarterback, and Garcia kind of got open and made something happen there for the freshmen. And look, they're in their best field position of the night.
1st and 10, ball at the 42. 2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side, and 1 running back. Throws far side, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver.
Courtney's pass into the
Looks like he was looking for number 11, Jackson Badeau, the senior wide receiver.
Ball's incomplete.
You see that Sulphur is taking advantage of this, of the second unit, right? We've seen a couple of kids on the Acadiana side that we don't really see all that often, and they're not really the starting unit out there.
And the coverage for the Rams, it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
So far here on this first drive of the second half.
2nd and 10, 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, and a running back in the shotgun. 9 seconds on the play clock. Snap. Handoff. Trying to turn the far side corner, not able to do so, but he does spin off of a tackle. It's going to be no gain officially, but a good run right there by Jobert not to go down behind the sticks. So it'll be 3rd and long again for the Golden Tours.
The last thing you want to do if you're on Acadiana is allow Sulphur to get something working here, get in the end zone, and then I'm not necessarily saying they'll get back into the game, but now you got to think about maybe putting your starters back in to kind of solidify this win. So the last thing this second unit wants to do is allow Sulphur any momentum or even allow them in the end zone to score points.
3rd and 10, ball at the 42. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, and 1 running back in the shotgun. Slot receiver goes in motion. Takes the snap, 3-step drop, looking near side, still looking near side, floats it, and it's complete. Not going to have enough to move the sticks. At least I don't believe so. No, they're actually going to give him the first down. Very hard to see the near sideline with the players in the way, but it does look like it will be enough for a first down. On the completion was number 31, Jordan Jordan. That's the junior wide receiver.
He was working on Key Island the day for the Wreckin Rams, and you can see the day's kind of upset because he mistimed that jump. That's all that was. If he jumps it correctly and times it perfectly, it's either a pick or he's batting it down. He just mistimed it, jumped a little too soon. He came down, and the ball came down right into the receiver's hands.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time the Tours are in plus territory tonight. 1 receiver to each side. Running back in the shotgun. Snap. Keeps it himself, rolling far side. Throws it to a receiver, in and out of his hands. The throw was low. Probably for the best. 2nd and 10.
Incomplete.
And we do have a running clock. I was wondering, we hadn't had an opportunity to see if we were going to have a running clock, but did they stop it?
No, it's going to be a stoppage. I think we have to have 42, Nick, is the number that we have to hit. So no running clock just yet. 9:31, though, left in this 3rd quarter. Acadiana leading 38-0.
I'm used to working on team deadline. You know, when we're in the newspaper business, we work on team deadline. Those running clocks are always good for team deadline to get that story in on time.
2nd and 10. Ball at the 47. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, and 1 running back in the shotgun. Snap. Handoff up the middle to Jobert.
Jobert carries.
Going to get a gain of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 8, and we've seen this all night. It seems like every time out, the Temple Turks hold them to 3rd and long.
And I wonder what they're going to do here on this 3rd and long. Like you said, their first time across midfield, they finally got something going, be it against some of the backups, but you got to think, this is the time to take a chance and try to get some points.
3rd and 8. Ball at the 45. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Hard count. Nothing doing. Courtney looks to the sideline for a play. 5 seconds on the play clock. Snap. Look far side, throws it across the field. It's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Had a chance for a first down right there, but in and out of the hands of his receiver. That was the junior wide receiver, Mason LeBlanc.
Cole, I think he heard the footsteps. I think they were right by him. 2 Ram defenders were ready to unload him if he catches that football. And I think that's exactly what happened. He heard those footsteps right behind him and kind of got nervous and dropped that football. It looks like the Golden Tours are going for him on 4th down.
Well, I think they heard you, Nick, and they need to take some more chances. And here you go. 4th and 8, 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Courtney going to move back into the shotgun, running back on the side of him. Hard count, nothing doing. 5 seconds on the play clock. He's still looking to the sideline. Looks like they may take a timeout here. So we'll see if they actually do want to go for it. I mean, you have nothing to lose. We'll go ahead and keep it here. Nick, you have nothing to lose by going for this. I mean, you actually, in my opinion, you would show a little faith in your freshman quarterback, give him an opportunity to make a play and continue to drive. This is your best drive of the night, especially when it comes down to field position. Let the young man prove something right here and give him a chance to move the sticks.
I totally agree. I mean, it's the first time that they're across midfield at all. The first time they've had anything going positively. You can't give that up. Like we said, if Acadiana gets the football, they're scoring points. They've scored on every offensive drive in the last 6 quarters. Every time they get the football, they're going in the end zone or putting points up. We saw Eddie with the field goal in the first half. So you know you're giving up points if you give them the ball. There's no reason to give them the ball now. Either you give them the ball or you don't make this 4th down and they get the ball, or they punt and it looks like they're going to punt. This is I don't understand what they're doing or why they don't have any faith to try to let the freshman quarterback make something.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, Nick. This is a very shocking call to me. You're in plus territory and you're conceding the drive, which has been your best drive tonight. Nonetheless, Sulphur's going to opt to punt. 4th and 8. Looks like Russell Babineau back at about the 19. It's a low snap, but a good punt. And I'm surprised that Russell caught a fair catch that early because he had a chance to return that. Going to be caught at about the 15, and that's where the Bear Machine will have it 1st and 10. And it looks like the starters are actually going to get one more drive out of this, Nick, because I'm looking down on the field, and I see Caden DeBetta going out there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll try to get this to a running clock before they take the starters out. But look at the situation that Sulphur just had. They had the ball at the Acadiana 45. They kicked it. They got the ball at the 15. So they got 30 yards of field position. This isn't the pros in college where you're completely flipping the field. The Rams only had 30 yards to gain before they would be right where the ball was if you missed that 4th down. I just don't understand that decision by Sulphur.
1st and 10, ball at the 15. Snap. Takes the handoff, 5-step drop, looking, throws it downfield. He's got his brother, Colin DeBetta, and he dropped it. Listen, folks, this is his 2nd year as a starter. That might be the first time I've seen him flat out drop a football. What an unfortunate time because we were ready to basically make a house call.
I think he had his eyes on the end zone and he looked up. He saw nothing in front of him. Thursday night, that's not that you see Colin DeBetta making. He's on the sidelines right now, frustrated. He knows he had a touchdown right there. Great play from DeBetta to DeBetta. He just couldn't haul it in.
You think his older brother's going to let him hear about that one tonight?
I'm sure he's not going to hear the end of it for sure.
2nd and 10, ball at the 15. Snap, handoff on a sweep. Logan Charles cuts it back up. Breaks a tackle or two. Good job right there by that young man to keep his feet moving. Going to get a gain of, let's call it 7. It's going to be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, that's a good point that you made earlier. I'm wondering if he's going to hear it, down the hallway at home whenever Caden and Colin go in there.
That was actually Taden Collins on the carry, correction on my end. But no, I mean, that's the cool thing about having an older brother throwing to a younger brother, and with the amount of success that they've had over the last 2 years. They have some great stories, but you can also joke around when things don't exactly go your way.
No doubt.
3rd and 3. Handoff, Parker Bruno bounces it outside, turns the corner across the 30, across the 35, pushed out at roughly, let's see where they spot him, going to mark him at the 40-yard line. So a good run right there by Parker Bruno, and that's a Veer Machine 1st down.
And I really love seeing the fact that they're giving Bruno the opportunity because, look, after that STM game when he fumbled and he went on the sideline, he didn't see any more action in that game. Last week he had the first play, the big touchdown. Now you can kind of see that confidence is right back where it was before that fumble happened. That's all it takes, a little bit of success, feeding him a little bit, letting him get going. That's exactly what the Wreckin' Rams have done, and now Bruno is right back to where he was before that mistake.
He's just such a bruiser. And everybody has a nickname. Jonas the Pitbull, TC, Tayden Collins. We're going to have to give Bruno something. 3-step drop, throws it downfield again. They're trying the same play, but it's over the head of his younger brother, Colin DeBetta. Just overthrew him. And, I think that was their way of, a coach's way of trying to, give him a little love, saying, we had it, but, just wasn't able to hook up once again.
Wanted to try to get it back. They knew they had a touchdown, give him another opportunity to get a touchdown. And it is cool. The DeBetta to DeBetta connection is cool. It was cool last year. It's cool this year. Like, it's cool whenever it happens. And they could have got another touchdown right there if he just makes that play.
2nd and 10, ball at the 40. Handoff, Tayden Collins. Gets outside, he's across the 50, across the 45, pushed out at just shy of the 40, and TC with another big run and a Veer machine first down.
That's the one positive that I'm taking away from the fact that Jonas missed these last 2 games, is that Tayden's become that bell cow where you just run him a lot and see what he can do, and man, he is explosive when he gets into that second level of the defense, when he breaks it outside. Man, he's so fast and so impressive to watch.
7:30 left to go in your third quarter. Acadiana leading 38-0. But Nick, we talked about it earlier this year, and we made jokes about it. Jonah Goche was the clear-cut number 1 back of this offense. But I said to you very openly, Tayden Collins would be a number 1 back in any other, Veer machine offense that Acadiana's had. Well, look at him. He's getting his opportunities. Here's the handoff. It's a reverse across the 20.
Russell Babineau, touchdown.
Russell Babineau in the end zone once again, and Acadiana in full control, 44-0.
I think most games that Russell Babineau's in, he's the best athlete on the field, the best player on the field, and that's just what he showed right there. Just once he got the ball, that was it. There was nobody else going to catch him. Nobody can catch up with him. That's why he's going to be playing at Cajun Field next year, because that's the kind of talent that he has. That was a very impressive run from Russell.
Attempting the extra point.
Hey, Nick, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
There's your running clock, buddy.
See, this is what we want. This is the best part of the night, when we get the running clock.
Running clock territory, folks. 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter, but that clock is running. Ty Lambertina to hold, Eddie Hernandez to kick. Snap good, kick good. 45-0, 6:39 and running. And I tell you what, folks, while we do have a running clock, we're going to take a short timeout. Stick around for Wreckin' Ram Productions here on YouTube.
Hernandez kicking off. Tracy Washington, number 5, deep for Sulphur.
Eddie Hernandez. This one's going to be short and returnable. Let's see who takes it in. Oh, the ball is... That's a live ball, Nick.
Yeah, you better get out the
end zone. You
better
get out the end zone. If they bring him down, this could be...
Oh, yeah.
He does get out the end zone. Man, I'm not sure what the returner was thinking right there. Maybe he thought if he didn't have, control and the ball goes into the end zone. Now, keep in mind, he made contact with the ball outside the end zone, so I'm sure that had a play in it. But it's going to be 1st and 10 Golden Tours at the 6.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't take a knee, because if he would have taken a knee, it would have been a safety.
True,
but I'm surprised he didn't just, because you got these kids that watch sports on TV and they see what happens and they're in the moment, not very experienced. Surprised he didn't take the knee. It would have given up a safety. Unbeknownst to him, it would have been a safety for Acadiana.
Very tough field position for the Tours here.
The tackle has his jersey tucked. We can't see his number, but we think it's number 81, Lucas Lannery.
2 wide receivers far side, 1 near side. Handoff up the middle. Going to get a gain of about 1 or 2. Looks like it's going to be second and let's call it 8.
You got to laugh at Britt Lachele, the public address announcer here at Bill Costas State. Just one of a kind. It's a one-of-a-kind experience to come to a football game here at Acadiana and listen to some of the things that Britt says.
Talking about a lineman with a tucked-in jersey and he couldn't read a number. And you're right, Nick. Britt is one of a kind.
That's not happening anywhere else.
He has one of the most recognizable voices in all of Louisiana high school football. 2nd and 8, 2 receivers far side, 1 near side, and a running back in the shotgun. 5 seconds on the play clock. Snap, handoff up the middle. Not going to find much of a lane. I think they'll give them a yard. Let's call it a 3rd and 7. And once again, Terrible Turks holding them to a 3rd and long.
Yeah, at this point where you got them this far back into their own end zone, it's just pin the ears back, right? Obviously nothing's really working for them in the passing game aside from a couple of plays on that last drive, and they're running the football without success. So just go try to get them. Go try to either make a mistake, get a turnover, get a sack, something like that, and kind of put this game away. Because Sulphur's really almost waving the white flag, like I've said multiple times, and that's just what it seems like their offensive game plan is at this moment.
2 receivers near side, 1 on the far side, running back in the shotgun. 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter and running. Snap, handoff again. Good run right here. He's definitely going to have enough for the 1st down. Folks, again, I do not have number 7 on my roster for Sulphur tonight, so apologies that I can't give you the young man's name, but a heck of a run right there on 3rd and 8 to move the sticks.
We got to call it in a favor to Striker. He had all the inside info on Sulphur. We got to see, Striker, if you know who number 7 is, you got to get us a name so we can call the young man's name on the broadcast. I didn't know I had an insider on the Sulphur side in Striker.
How about this, Nick? I'll take it another level. To any Sulphur fans still watching at home, if you know who number 7 is, go ahead and send us a comment. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, running back in the shotgun. 8 seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap, 3-step drop, looking, throws it far side. Just wide of his intended receiver. He was looking for senior receiver Jackson Badeau on that one.
Go back to that play, though, the play that got Sulphur the first down. A nice run. They hadn't really had a lot of success running the football. A couple of positive plays, but able to get that 1st down and kind of keep it moving. And if the coaches are going to give up, the players definitely have it. They're still playing hard down there.
2nd and 10, ball of the 18. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side, running back in the backfield with the quarterback, Courtney. Snap, handoff. Not going to be able to turn that corner, and a great job by the Terrible Turks to blow him up for about a 5-yard loss. They'll be looking at a 3rd and 15, and we've said it all night. 3rd and longs, that's been the MO all year long for the Terrible Turks.
It's like Tavian Landry and Caleb Andrews combined for that tackle, and they've just pinned their ears back, and they're going after him. They're not allowing them to get any kind of success after maybe that 1st down where they get a couple of pass plays, and now Sulphur again in 3rd and long, where I think they've lived pretty much all night.
We've seen them try to run that draw play right here on 3rd and long, which may happen. But I would like them to maybe try to throw something to the outside and just give the young quarterback a chance to make a play, as we've been saying all night long. Snap, fakes the handoff, rolls far side, throws it across the field, in and out of his hands of his intended receiver. He was looking for Jordan Jordanot, the junior wide receiver, on that one, and they're going to go ahead and punt this football one more time.
I think that's a play that you want the receiver to make. The throw was a little high, but that's all going to come with the experience of the quarterback giving him reps. And Cole, like you said, if you're going to put him in there and not give him an opportunity to do something or to feel comfortable to be able to make that throw later on, he's never going to get there. I feel like they've taken an opportunity from the young man tonight to kind of get some experience under his belt against a really quality opponent.
You think we see them send the house right here and block this one, Nick?
No.
Fair play. And they don't. Kick is away. It's a low one. There's no returners for the Rams. It bounces at the 45 across midfield, and he's going to be out at about the 42-yard line. So good field position for the Rams to start their drive. Running clock inside of a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter, and I'm going to tell you what, before we know it, this ball game's going to be over. Honestly, Nick, they might not even run another play before this quarter ends.
The play clock hasn't started, so I don't know if they will. But, I like not having a returner back there because you just want to give this second team offense who's going out there, looks like Lon Martinez in there to be the quarterback. So you just want to give them an opportunity to have a play. If you fair catch that ball at the 50, it just takes away 15 to 20 yards of field that the offense can kind of get something working and run a play.
Quarterback for the Rams, number 5, Ty Lambertina.
So the game clock is ahead of the play clock, so let's see if Acadiana wants to snap it here. Ty Lambertina, the quarterback for the Wreckin' Rams, they do snap it. It's a handoff. Looks like Sean Simo. No, excuse me, that's Troy Kinnerson Jr. Gets a gain of 1 and then gets brought down hard. It's going to be 2nd and 9.
If Acadiana keeps having games like this where they run the clock and the backups get in a lot, we'll learn the difference between Seymour and Kinnerson before the season's over for sure.
That's the end of your third quarter, folks. It has been all Acadiana in this one, 45-0. Stick around for the finale of this ball game. You're watching Wreckin' Ram Productions here on YouTube.
At the end of the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen, your Wreckin' Rams 45, Sulphur nothing.
Fourth quarter here at Bill Dotson Stadium. Wreckin' Rams 45, Sulphur Golden Tours 0. Running clock to start this fourth quarter. 2nd and 9. Lambertina throws it. That's complete to Porco Robichaux. Breaks the tackle but gets blown up after he breaks that first tackle. Going to be a completion of about 4. It's going to be 3rd and let's call it 5.
Nice for Ty to get a little throw. We know he can throw the baseball, 90-something miles an hour. Nice to see him throw the football there.
Funny story about Ty Lambertina, the junior quarterback. When I was a senior here about 12 years ago, Nick, his dad, Cap Lambertina, was my outfielding coach, and you got to see Ty grow up at what is now Scott McCullough Field, so it's a full circle moment for me watching him play football for the Wreckin' Rams now. 2 receivers far side. Handoff. Big running back right here. Going to have a first down for sure. Don't have a number just yet, folks, but I tell you what, that is a good-looking running back. That's number 2, Logan Charles. Couldn't see his number when he was coming across the near side, but enough to move the sticks for a Veer Machine first down.
Yeah, and that's why he looks so good. We know what Logan Charles can do. We've seen him do it tonight. We saw him do it last week. He's a good-looking running back. And Acadiana just continues to pump out these running backs, stable of running backs. Player after player comes in, and we don't skip a beat with any of them.
10:30 left to go in this ball game. Lambertina under center. 1 receiver to each side of the formation. Handoff up the middle. That's Troy Kinnerson. Great run right there. Let's see where they spot him. Right at the stick. Are they going to move the sticks? I believe they are. Veer Machine first down on the carry for Troy Kinnerson.
It's so cool to see these young kids get in there and kind of get a glimpse of what it's going to be next year. We got Ty, a quarterback, and the 2 running backs. It's really awesome to see them get that in there.
Ball at the 32-yard line.
10, Mootsie, Chris Mouton.
Handoff. Pushing the pile. Good run right there. Going to get a gain of, let's call it 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
Corey, you talked about watching Ty grow up at the baseball field right across from the football stadium. I watched Ty grow up at the alumni ragball tournaments that Cap's been putting on for a few years. I remember when we had the first tournament about 12 years ago, Ty was like a baby. He was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and now we're watching him be the quarterback of the Wreckin' Rams.
Full circle moment for sure. And, that's what this program's about. It's about culture. It's about families that grow up within the culture. I was a product of Acadiana. Handoff right here, far side. Turns the 20, the 10. He's going to be brought down at about the 10. Let's see, that was number 26, Dion Simo on the carry. the junior running back, another Seymour in the fold right here.
Yeah, that's a new name. We haven't called Dion. We have called Sean, but we haven't called Dion. They're partying down there in the stands right now. It is just chaos down there.
Yeah, Kristen McCullough, Matt McCullough's wife, is right below us, and she's just having a good time. She was doing the swag serve dance a while ago at the break. So, like you said, it's homecoming week. It was a great night for football, or still is, I should say, and a good turnout for the Rams. Here's the snap, handoff, cuts it up the field. I think that's Seymour again.
Dion Seymour on the carry.
Gets a gain, at least from the spot. It looks like he got a gain of 3. It's going to be second down.
And you see down here on the field, you see Coach Davidson and Coach Hanks taking pictures with a bunch of former players. Like, this is what homecoming is, a great event. Lots of what you were talking about, that culture, and everybody just coming home and celebrating, everybody having a good time. And, of course, the number one thing that we all want is the Wreckin' Rams to come out victorious, and they're taking care of their business on the field.
I'm not going to lie, Nick, I just photobombed that picture for sure. For sure. 8 minutes left to go, and the clock is running. Second down. Handoff. Not much doing at the line of scrimmage. And like I said earlier, that's been a bright spot for Sulphur tonight. Their defensive line, even though they're down big, has pretty much held tough a good majority of the night.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, they're not giving up the effort. They're still playing hard. The offense and the defense on Sulphur's side has really played hard. They're just outmanned. Acadiana is just better, on every level. But they're still playing hard. You got to give them credit for doing that.
Third down. Ball of the 6. Handoff. Up the middle. No, Lambertina's going to keep it himself, but not able to turn the corner or break a tackle. He'll lose about a yard. It'll be fourth down. It's not fourth and goal, though. The first down marker's at the 1 yard line. You think we see the kicking unit here, Nick?
It looks like Eddie's on the sideline kind of waiting to go in, but I'm not sure he is. It looks like the offense is going to stay on the field and maybe let him score. Maybe try to give him a chance to score here.
Yeah, Matt's going to send out a receiver with the play, so he will give this second-string offense a chance to get into the end zone. And I like that because you mentioned that this is experience for next year. These are the guys that you're going to see starting on Friday night. So let these people, let these guys get some experience here. Hard count. Nothing doing. Lambertina looks to the sideline, and Matt's going to take a timeout. While we have a second, we'll take a timeout with them. 6:35 left to go in this ball game. Acadiana 45, Sulphur 0. Stick around for the finale on Wreckin' Ram Productions. Fourth down. Handoff. Seymour not able to keep his feet, and he's not going to have enough to get the first down. So it's going to be a turnover on downs. And, Nick, I think that's the first time in 2 weeks that Acadiana was not able to get points on an offensive drive.
That's right. And, if like we said, if it was a competitive game, they might have kicked that field goal. If the first unit was in, they might have had the experience to kind of get it done. But still, I like exactly what you said. I like getting the youngsters the experience, getting that crunch time down there, see what you got, see if we can get it in there. I like getting them that experience, maybe even though it wasn't successful, they'll know what they did that time that didn't work, and maybe try to do something different to have a different outcome the next time their number gets called.
Shout out to Striker Trawhall coming in clutch. Number 7 for the Sulphur Tornadoes is Luke Clark.
Sulphur Insider, Striker Trawhall. That's his new like claim to fame.
I'm going to change his name in my phone immediately. 5:30, the clock is running. Acadiana leads 45-0. Handoff. No, he's going to keep it. Dumps it off.
Oh, nice.
To his running back, Jobert. I think he's going to be just short of the sticks. Nope, flag on the play. Flag far side. Let's see what the call is.
Downfield.
Keep in mind, folks, we do have a microphone on the referees tonight. It's a really big convenience for us.
I think it was ineligible downfield, if I understood correctly.
Ineligible receiver on the offense. The inside receiver was covered and went out for a pass. Second down.
Unfortunate because that is, it was a good-looking play.
Have the distance to go first down.
So half the distance because they were spotted at the 3, so it would be the 1.5. But going back to it, a great wheel route, and it was a good-looking play. Just unfortunate that it was an ineligible man downfield. Snap, handoff, up the middle. Able to spin off the line of scrimmage, and that was a good run right there to get a chunk of it back. Going to get a gain of 4, maybe even 5. They're going to call it 5. Shoot, they might even call it 6. 2nd and 6. Ball is now at the 7-yard line.
And that's another factor that played into maybe the Wreckin' Rams going for it on that 4th down on offense, because even if you didn't make it, you're pinning Sulphur way into their own territory inside the 10-yard line. If they're going to get a touchdown, they have to go a very long way. And Cole, you mentioned it. We're working on 3 straight games where the defense hasn't allowed a touchdown. That's something that they want to try to preserve for sure.
Handoff. Up the middle. Good run right there. Another strong run. Going to be short of the first down, though, so it'll be 3rd and 1. That's actually the senior running back, number 24, Slade Shove Knox. He is a Ragin' Cajun commit in baseball, Nick. You want to talk about good pitchers? That is one heck of a pitcher right there running the football.
Yeah, I know you're looking forward to seeing him down at the tee on some weekend series against some Sunbelt opponents.
I will not hide it from you folks. I'm a Ragin' Cajun baseball fanatic, and I'm excited to see that young man pitching for the Ragin' Cajuns. 3rd and 1. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Shove Knox in the backfield. Handoff. No, he's going to keep it himself. Quarterback keep. He'll have enough for the first down, and actually that's a new quarterback. That is the sophomore quarterback, Sawyer Kuipers. So number 12 checks into the ball game.
You know who else is a big Ragin' Cajun baseball fan? Is Clint Broussard. Acadiana alum, isn't he your cousin?
Yeah, Clint's is that, well, he might as well be. I grew up next door to Clint. Clint's a good family friend. So Clint, if you're watching, shout out to Clint Broussard. I see Clint all the time at the tee. So
one of my favorite dudes.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Snap, 3-step, throws it far side. Oh, just wide of his intended receiver. On the intended receiver was Wyatt Spicer, the junior wide receiver. But while it was wide of him, it was nearly picked off by the defensive back. I would have liked to see the young terrible Turks get an interception right there.
Yeah, it was Javiante Shepard, what's a name that we haven't called, but he's the one that almost got that pick.
Inside of 2 minutes left to go here at Bill Dotson Stadium. It has been all Wreckin' Rams 45-0. Barring any explosive play, looks like Acadiana is going to have a chance to, or the Terrible Turks, I should say, have their 3rd shutout in a row. Quarterback keeper turns the corner near side. Going to have enough for the first down. Good job right there by Kuipers to keep it and get enough. And again, moves the sticks.
Sulphur hasn't given up. I mean, they haven't given up on any play tonight. They're playing as hard as you want a team to play that's down by so many points without a chance to win this game. They haven't given up. I don't think I can say the same for their coaches. I think the coaches gave up in the first half, but these kids have not given up. That's a credit to them for keeping that effort up all throughout this game.
And listen, that's not a knock against Sulphur. What we're saying is there's been so many opportunities, if you're just tuning in, for Sulphur to maybe take a chance on a 4th down or maybe throw the ball on a 3rd and long, and they just haven't done so. And we've talked about that all night. They just haven't believed in their quarterback tonight. Pass downfield. Wide of his intended receiver. That was number 17, Mason LeBlanc, trying to, he's just trying to hook up with him. And look, to your point, they're not giving up offensively. They're still trying to find a way to put a score on the board before they make their way back to Calcasieu Parish. Just wasn't able to hook up there.
Hey, cool. Let me tell you one. Those defensive starters for Acadiana are on the sidelines. They want that goose egg. They want that donut on the scoreboard. They want to maintain that 0. They are pumped up for this second unit to maintain that 0.
Well, we're under 30 seconds, so this may be the last play of the game. Let's see what Sulphur wants to do here. The snap. Fakes the handoff, rolls far side, looking, and it's going to be a sack. What a way to end the ball game. 3, 2, 1, and for the third week in a row, your terrible Turks pitch a shutout. Final score here tonight at Bill Dotson Stadium, Acadiana 45, the Sulphur Golden Tours 0. I mean, listen, Nick, these are district opponents that you're doing. Now, listen, we haven't had a very strong district in the last few years. We get that. Nonetheless, though, Nish has been a long-time rivalry. Sulphur's been a long-time rivalry. At the end of the day, these are still 5A schools and 5A competition. To say that you've pitched 2 shutouts against district opponents, and then if you take it back a week further, to pitch a shutout against STM at STM, I mean, the terrible Turks are just on fire right now.
Let's talk about the buzz of what this team was going into this season. It was all about the offense, right? It was all about your senior quarterback, Caden DeBetta, your senior wide receiver, Russell Babineau, your 2 senior running backs, and Jonah and Tayden, right? That's what we talked about. The offense, how explosive it was going to be. We were going to see a lot of explosive plays, and we are seeing that. The offense is living up to the bill. We didn't hear that much about the defense. I mean, we knew that we had some dogs on defense. We had some players that were going to step it up, but the defense had definitely taken a back seat to the offense when people were talking about this team. What a statement they have made in these last 3 weeks, not allowing a single offensive touchdown. The touchdown in the STM game was off of a scoop and score. This defense is unbelievable. And if the defense is going to play up to this level and up to this standard and as strong as what we've seen the offense can do, I mean, what else is the limit but a state championship? I mean, that's where you're heading, and the team continues to get better. And like we mentioned a couple of times, the result last week, 62-0, and the result this week against Sulphur, it's not easy to do. You can say you're outmanned, you can say you're the better team, but you still have to go in there and execute. And I just feel like it's very impressive, and that's what Matt says every week, is focusing on week to week, focusing on game to game. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't have a whole lot of conversation about state championship, about Superdome, about playoffs. You got to take care of New Iberia. You got to take care of Sulphur. Next week, you got to take care of Barb. And I feel like they're doing a great job, and that's how you get an outcome like this. You don't roll the football out and beat a team 42-0. You beat the team 42-0 because you're focused on that team and you're doing everything right. I just think it's a great job by the Wreckin Rams. And I mean, they did a lot of the talking on the field, but just a very impressive performance by both the defense and the offense.
Looking forward to next week. You just said it. Going to be heading to Lake Charles to take on the Barb Bucks, another long-time rivalry for these Wreckin Rams, but another example of a Lake Charles team that has not recovered since those disasters and that hurricane a couple years ago. Barb, very similar to Sulphur in a lot of ways. I mean, do you expect, and listen, we're not throwing shade on anyone, but do you expect anything different next week going on the road at Barb?
Maybe, because it's on the road. I mean, these 2 games against New Iberia and Sulphur have been at home where you're comfortable. You're not having to drive 2 hours down the road, leave school early, get to Lake Charles where you're playing against not only the Barb Buccaneers, but the Lake Charles officials, which we know historically what they tend to do. So yeah, I think it will be a little bit different. I don't expect Acadiana to come out and pitch a shutout against Barb on their home field. I don't expect Acadiana to beat the team by 40 or 50 or 60 points. I do expect Acadiana to win the game, and I think it just all goes back to focusing on that week to week. This game is over, and you got to move on. And so I do think Acadiana is going to be successful. I think they're definitely, obviously, have a chance to win the game. I think they would be a favorite if we were setting betting lines. And I had an opportunity to see Barb a little bit last night. I went to the Southside and Barb game and got to see those 2 teams. And, it is what it is. Acadiana's better than Barb. They are. It doesn't mean that Barb can't win that game if you overlook them. And so I think that's what the coaches are focusing on, is not overlooking the opponent no matter what has happened. And if Acadiana goes in there overconfident or too cocky and not taking Barb serious, Barb can absolutely upset Acadiana. But if Acadiana plays up to their standard and anything like they've played in the last 2 weeks, I don't think Barb has a chance.
And that's kind of what we talked about all night long, especially more towards the pregame. If Acadiana in district can just find a way to stay focused focused and show up and start hot. That's my thing. Don't start slow. Don't give the opposing team any hope to stay in a ball game. Start hot, exactly what they did tonight, Nick. I mean, 2 or 3 touchdowns within the first 2 minutes of the ball game. You could not have started hotter if you were Acadiana. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Show up, start hot, and put the game away early, and just continue to handle your business. Like we talk about all the time, goal number 1 for Acadiana is always winning District 3-5A. That is goal first and foremost. For me, goal number 2, the standard of Acadiana, we like to talk about Superdomes, the standard of Acadiana is the quarterfinal. You want to make that Thanksgiving practice. Coach Davidson preached that for years. I mean, that is the standard of Acadiana, is making it to the quarterfinals. And then number 3, you want to end the year with that ring on your finger. So Acadiana always comes into these seasons with 3 big goals in mind. And really, what makes the standard is that those goals never change. So if you can go to Barb and find a way to duplicate what you did tonight, especially defensively, I mean, if you're pitching shutouts, your veer machine can do whatever it wants. You know, and we talked about Jonah Goche. I personally expect Jonah to go next week, only because I don't foresee, Matt McCullough holding him out a 3rd week. If he was not to go, we would have to have some more conversation with Coach, because holding a young player like that out for multiple weeks, that could be a little scary. You don't want him to lose his rhythm or anything. So we'll keep an eye on that for y'all. But let's talk about, Acadiana's in complete control right now for the district. They're 2-0. You have any idea of maybe who's behind them, who their main competition is? We've seen Carencro struggle so far. So who in your mind is going to give Acadiana the biggest run moving forward?
Well, I've seen Southside play 3 times. I've seen them play. My daughter obviously is a senior at Southside, so she's in the marching band, so I go and watch them from time to time. I've been able to see them play, and they have a good offense. It's a new offense. They have a new coach in Jess Curtis. They run the football a lot, very similar to what Acadiana runs. I don't really see them, being that much of a threat to Acadiana. Of course, anything can happen, but I think Acadiana would be a favorite against them. I saw Barb last night. Acadiana should be a favorite against them. I saw Lafayette High. Acadiana is going to be a favorite against them. So the only teams that I really haven't seen are Sam Houston, which always gives Acadiana fits, and Carencro I haven't seen, and we've seen Carencro kind of struggle, but we know that rivalry game is going to be big. Carencro is going to get up for Acadiana. Carencro could be 0-9 going into that game and still have a chance to beat Acadiana, so you can't ever overlook Carencro. But right now, from what I've seen in this district, Acadiana is the cream of the crop. They are a step above. It's like Acadiana's at the top, and there's a huge gap between second. But again, that doesn't mean that one of these teams can't come and upset you if you don't take care of your business, if you're not focused on what you're doing. That's the most impressive thing about these wins. Not the score on the scoreboard, not that you're blowing out these teams that you should blow out. It's taking care of the business, being focused on what you're supposed to do. Again, like I've been saying, it's not that easy. You don't just roll the ball out and put these scores on the board. It takes a lot of effort from both the players and the coaches, and I feel like they've done a good job. This was a complete win. We saw some great moves, great plays from the special teams, a pick 6, the defense pitching a shutout, the offense doing reverses and trick plays and doing all kind of things that we haven't seen, and all of it working to success. I just think this was their most complete win. They're in mid-season form because it's week 5, and I feel like the sky's the limit for this team. I think that's what we're going to be saying in these post games every week until we get to the postseason. Like, this team has the opportunity to win a state championship if they continue to take care of business.
Well, you heard the man, folks. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in, both near and far. Sulphur fans, thank you for tuning in. My Wreckin' Ram Nation, thank you once again. We want to show some love to our Wreckin' Ram production broadcast crew, the Wreckin' Ram students that man the cameras, and Mr. Denny Edwards for being our producer tonight. Again, my name is Cole Gilbo. On the side of me, my good friend and broadcast partner, Nick Fotno. This was another example of Acadiana High being elite. That's what they want to do this year, is be elite. But everyone have a great weekend, and as always, once a Ram, always a Ram.